Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Esports Club Lenovo plus AMD The Rising in association with Vijay Sales. I'm your host, Blackjack. Joining me, of course, is my ever-present co-host, Babagusta, as we are here for the very beginning of this new and exciting tournament in our beautiful region of South Asia. Baba, how are you doing on this fine evening?
Well, Jack, I am doing really good and also very excited about this tournament too. I do have to, I do have to admit it's been a long time since the esports club has hosted an
Yeah.
R6 tournament. It's
Mhm.
it's been a long time, and now bringing it back, it's very exciting and also very anticipating to see what kind of plays that we have in stores. It's an amazing experience, and also it's
Mhm.
great to be back with you
Oh,
again,
it
Jack.
is. Well, most certainly. It's always been a great to cast alongside you, Baba. As of course we've slowly become known as what the B&B, I believe it's called, of our region, the casting duo that we are. It's always great to cast for the Esports Club whenever they do a Rainbow Six tournament. Of course, it's been a while, a long while. In fact, a majority of this year has gone by since the second Pro League, which was. Back in February, can you believe it? It has been a while. Of course, we've had a couple stages worth of SA Nationals where our viewers have, of course, seen us alongside other beautiful casters of the region. And now here we are for the Rising. Should be a fantastic open tournament, open bracket system going all in, single eliminations, mind you. So you get one chance. If you use it, you do. If you don't, well, maybe next time. Of course, there's more to come. It's not just the Rising that's happening, as has been hinted at over on social media. So do follow us over on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all the other places that we are present. One more thing before we get into the games, folks. There is a giveaway running currently. Check the link down in the description for more details. With all that out of the way, let us see the matches that are on stream for all of our viewers today. Going live on the screens right now, it's going to be starting us off Red Vipers versus Why Are We? An interesting name for a team that asks a very existential question right there, I have to say. Then, of course, we have Akash Ke Dads, again, interesting names, and Chemical X with their own logo right there. So it looks like these guys might be pretty interestingly serious about progressing here. And then finishing us off at 8 p.m., the Human Targets versus Team Espada. Now, of course, all of our viewers will be familiar with Red Vipers and Team Espada. We've seen them before in previous tournaments, even in the open qualifiers of the Nationals. And both of them are teams that have tried their hardest, but just haven't quite made that jump yet into being a big team in the region. Maybe this tournament or whatever upcoming tournaments are there could be their chance, and we're about to find out today in these first three matches. Baba, what are we looking at? What are you thinking here?
I mean, starting off, Jack, I do have to talk about these new teams here. Why are we Akash Ke Dads and also Human Targets? I mean, we have no idea what kind of plays that we're going to be seeing from these teams, but I do have to admit, seeing new faces, especially on a game like Rainbow Six Siege, which been it's been a while. It's a very old game, but still, it's very interesting to see many of the teams are interested to join for this tournament. Maybe check out and see if they've got what it takes to stay on the top. So very interesting for them. And as you all know, Red Vipers and Team Espada is also here to try to make sure that they could establish their dominance. So a very interesting matches, especially on the first one, where Team Red Vipers is going to go up against a specific opposition. So talking about the maps, though, Jack, we have a lot to talk about in maps. Talking the first, I would say, maps like theme park. I believe it's been a while since I've seen theme park being brought up, but I believe it's been taken out and brought, a different map instead.
Chalet, yeah.
Yeah, Chalet. And Chalet is quite possibly the most played maps on the entire region. I mean, it even includes on NA, EU, even on South APAC region as well. Chalet has been more dominant and also mostly attacker favored map, as I'd like to call it, and it did work out well for their teams. Sometimes, yes, the defenders do, you know, do have to worry about some particular sites. But other than that, I do believe that Chalet will be the most played maps other than
Hmm.
Clubhouse and Oregon, I believe.
I mean, those are just mainstays. Let's be real here. You cannot have a tournament, any tournament in South Asia, without the inclusion of Clubhouse and Oregon at any given point in the play days. That just goes without saying.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Jack. And yeah, talking about these teams,
Oh
though,
dear.
the three matches that we're going to have, though, you know, you okay, Jack?
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
that was
yeah,
weird.
well,
That was
yeah.
definitely very weird.
Well, I'm glad that you're back now, and
Mm.
I'm very excited about these three matches that we're going to see. Starting off with Red Vipers and Why Are We? I believe that's the name of the
Mm.
team. Why are we?
Good question.
That's a good question. Why are we? Who knows? Maybe they might be in the grand finals, and then at the opposition team, they might ask the same question. I mean, why are we? Why are we this good? Who
Or
knows?
why are we, just in general, why are we, why is anything, but let's not get too existential over here, folks. We're just here to cast and enjoy some fantastic games alongside our viewers at home, just waiting for the ready confirmation to come in from the lobby, and we will of course go live with the match itself soon as our admins let us know that everything is in fact ready. So, we do hope that you're excited for this, because while we all love, our mercenaries and Kira Esports, congratulations to them, by the way, for becoming the top two of the region. Sure, the Epic playoffs didn't really go out that well. We didn't really make it too far, but they got there, they gave us a show, and they tried their hardest. That's what counts. They come back with the experience, and we try again next stage and the next stage, and eventually we'll get there. Every region has been there before, and it will happen for South Asia. So, with that out of the way, what I was saying is, we all love to see our big teams, right? We all love to see our, well, now ex Union Gaming. I think they were called Monkey Hunters during the Nationals. We all love our mercenaries. We all love our Kira Esports and all that. But of course, sometimes you need to, just zoom out and see the broader spectrum of teams that are out there in this region. You never know. You could find yourselves another big name, another big team, maybe even someone who could take down the top two of the region. It's something that we've specified a lot while casting over the course of the tournaments that we've been on, and it's always been a fantastic time just to see which team has the chance. If anybody remembers the rise of the team Valiants, right? They had a big rise back in the
Yeah.
Pro League days, but unfortunately, as of recently, not too great. So hopefully they can make their comeback if they're here and all that. So, but of course, we've talked about a lot of things, a lot of ancillary tangential subjects quite a bit. So let's zoom back in to the first game of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Red Vipers versus Why Are We on the map of Clubhouse. Baba, before we get in, any predictions? What are we thinking here?
Well, starting off with the map that we'll be seeing Red Vipers go, it is going to be on Clubhouse, Jack. So the amount of sentences that I talked about Map Chalet
Mm-hmm.
is not going to work out. So yeah, as discussed already in effect. But still, if we do have to talk about prediction wise, not knowing what YRV's capabilities are, I'd say that Red Viper will easily take this one home, unless and until if the opposition team has some surprises up on their sleeves. We are about to find out in this map itself. Though the map will be on Clubhouse, Red Vipers will be the one on attack first. So pretty much if one of them wants the coin toss, they would eventually pick attack first so that they could defend well in the second half. So it's pretty much standard. The map will be on Clubhouse. I believe the site will be on CCTV, Basement Garage. It's much
It's
more
either
common
or,
as,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's either or. It depends on the picks on what YRV is going to be picking on. My goodness, this is the entire name of the team. YRV is it's just going to be amazing. I'm not gonna lie.
It's gonna catch us off guard quite a lot.
Yep,
I can
it
already
is.
tell.
It is. Yeah, there you have it. That's I'd say that Red Vipers can be able to win this one out against YRV.
Well, that certainly seems to be the case. I mean, at the end of the day, we know these teams. We've seen them before. We've seen them play. Most specifically, Red Vipers, of course. That's what I'm referring to. And that's where our prediction mostly lies, unless, of course, YRE can surprise us with a fantastic performance here and now for all of our viewers and, of course, us to enjoy. We all love our upsets. We all love our stories, underdog stories, of course. So all we are once again waiting for is just the match itself to begin, folks. Just waiting and watching as it goes. And also, yeah, one other thing that I guess we can talk about before getting in there is Baba. So we all know it's been a while, and we're here for the Esports Club The Rising, and this is going to go on for a little while before, of course, we move on to other tournaments. What do you think? What are we thinking about? Who could potentially push ahead in this tournament, or maybe even the new names? What are we thinking here? I know I've ended a lot with that. What are we thinking here? But I don't know. I like that phrase for some reason today.
Yeah, I guess it's gonna get stuck for the entire stream, not gonna lie. Why
Hmm.
are we? And
Hmm.
who is going to be the one to be the victors of the rising? I mean, there is a lot of teams to talk about, and just by we did take a look at the round of 32s. We've seen Red Vipers, we've seen Team Espada. The only difference is we just have to check on the second map, which is Chemical X, I believe, going up
Hmm.
against the opposition team called as Akash Ke Dads, I believe. Yeah, so the second match will be more of like a fresh faces that I'm going to be seeing from these particular players. Who knows? There might be some who might have came back from the retiring stage. Who knows? They might be able to give the good amount of surprises on our end. But yeah, I I I would say that it will be an amazing experience for us to see what the newcomers on this team have to show us on this tournament. But yeah, this again, ladies and gentlemen, we are still waiting for the lobby to be hosted, and I believe when the match comes into play, we will immediately get back into the ban phase. But for now, yes, we just got a confirmation from our admin saying that the match is live. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's just jump into our first matchup. In the orange side, we have YRV. In the blue side, we have Red Vipers. As we proceed to the ban phase, in the orange team, we will see why are we banning the Jackal first. We've seen a lot of Jackal bans happening in the attack phases, of very dangerous operators which can eliminate most of the roam players, especially on the side of defense. You have Pulse, you have Caveira. Most of the time, you don't get to see Cav being brought up in most of the competitive plays, but the second ban will be the Montaigne on the side
Hmm.
of Red Vipers. A very common ban, as I'd like to call it, but the only difference is what kind of defenders ban will we see on both of these teams.
Yeah, defender bans are usually very interesting, especially on the map of Clubhouse. We might see a Kaid ban, but then again, Thatcher is in play, so they might not want to use up that ban slot for that operator. You could see a Valkyrie ban as well. No, it's actually going to be Ella, a ban that we don't actually see that often, and for good reason. But this ban actually has a few layers to it. First off, for Gershmots, right? Extremely annoying to deal with, hard to take out unless you have an IQ. And on top of that, they will generally lead to death as soon as one goes off, especially Vitsanella playing an FO12. That shotgun is insane. In the meanwhile, YRV will be banning Tachanka for the final ban of the day as well. No Valkyrie ban, no Kaid ban, no Mute ban. Interestingly enough, it is the Tachanka who's been taken off the board. And of course, Tachanka, as of recently, has been buffed as of the patch yesterday, given more Shumika grenades in his launcher, more soft breach potential in his gun, and of course, a deployable shield, because of course more defenders needed deployable shields. In the meanwhile, unfortunately, as you can see, one of the players from the side of Why Are We have disconnected, but no pause request has come out from their side. It's a little odd, but yeah. As I was saying, Tachanka ban, very interesting. Ella ban as well, very interesting. So, without further ado, let's get into it and let's introduce the teams, which I would have done in the pick phase alone, but there's a lot to talk about with those defender bans, and we'll get back to that in just a moment. But from both sides, of course, we can see we have from Red Vipers, Eagle Eye, Dark Lord, Cypher, Coffee, and Naughty Ushrit. And from the side of YRV, we have Realm, Phaeton, Vision, Dank, and of course their fifth player, who unfortunately got disconnected before I could read their name. We'll do that introduction as soon as he gets back. But right now, the first site of choice from YRE seems to be on Gym Bedroom to start us off. Very interesting indeed, with a Mute and a Valkyrie pick to boot. No electrical interference from Bandit or Kaid, though.
I mean, what's more interesting is that, Jack, we've seen, most of, the defenders would just try to make a rotation right in towards second floor gym and in towards logistics. Although since I believe Mira is still available and the defenders haven't picked upon it, we will see Dark Lord get his first pick, though. Taking out Dank this time, that will be the Vigil. The Roamer not going to work out well in his favor, as already gunfight starts to brew. We see Vision and Cypher going for a quick trade, putting themselves in a 4v2. Already we will see the defenders be in a big of a trouble, knowing that they've already lost one of the players due to a disconnect, and already two players taken care of on the side of defenders. It is not looking too well though, because Cypher is already holding an angle, waiting for a good amount of information coming in from the attack drones, as well as Eagle Eye, definitely not wasting any time. Slowly on his way from the main stairs, and the Legion Crew Mine will make sure that the sprint ability will not affect. Meanwhile, we'll see Cypher get one, Realm gets the other, taking out Eagle Eye from the main stairs, but in the end, we will see Dark Lord cleaning up the entire crew on the side of YRV to give them the win on round one, second floor gym and bedroom. A quick clean, a quick finish coming in from Red Vipers. It didn't had any problem for the defenders to deal with any of their interference, although I'm quite concerned about the defenders as of now, since the viewers already know that one of the team has been disconnected, and they haven't asked for a rehost, because most of the time we would either go for a rehost or a pause timer. But since I believe the defenders have made a decision to just go with it, and I think it's going to be a 5v4 once again, Jack.
Seems to be, as a couple of six picks come into play. Dark Lord going out of the Thatcher into the Hibana, interestingly enough, and Dank going out of the castle into the Capcan. Of course, seeing how round one went, I can't exactly disagree with the Capcan choice. Of course, for basement Church Arsenal, maybe not the best pick. Castle might have been better, but of course you'd need a Mute and a Mozzie as well to really pull off the particular strategy that those ops bring in. So maybe for YR, we seeing the Capcan is better overall, just in general. Of course, we've got the friendly banters going off in chat as it goes, and a pulse in play from the side of the defense. Pulse, of course, always good to have when it comes to Church Arsenal, primarily for the verticality, i.e. on kitchen, on the hallway of kitchen, on first floor, all soft floors, right? So C4s from both Valkyrie, from Pulse, just as we were explaining, it's always going to be very dangerous for the attackers. But looks like Dark Lord doesn't want to wait around and wait a minute. Is that a non-reinforced kitchen hatch? Seems to be. They spotted this, and Red Vipers want to go in for a hot drop. They're all into sight already, all running around trying to find an operator or two. But where are the defenders? That is a good question. We saw Valkyrie towards open, and there is one in Church, and Dark Lord is hunting him down right now. It's going to be the Capcan first to fall as the headshot comes off from the Hibana.
A plant being taken out, and also a lot of gunfights happening on the side of YRV. A lot of chaos from Faden's UMP will claim one, switches out the pistol, can he get the other though, knowing that he is the last remaining player. Pistols will come in, and looks like the pistol will claim yet another one. That's a triple kill from Faden. Almost the quad might have come in, but Coffee is here to stop it and make sure that Red Vipers will claim the win yet again. An aggressive play here from Red Vipers, knowing that the kitchen hatch wasn't reinforced, and that's exactly what happens if you give a good, if you just give the weakness right then and there. And looks like YRB is in a lot of a trouble here, and yet again we will see one of the players being disconnected yet again. Although the third round will be on Basement Church and Arsenal Room, and I believe one of the players have experienced a PC crash. That is it's quite unfortunate for the teams on the side of YRV. Although we were, getting very excited about the match as of now, but since we have a lot of problems happening in the first match itself, I think that
Defenders,
YRV
protect your bombs from
still
being
has a
defused by
chance,
attackers.
Jack. I believe. You have the
I
Mira, you
mean,
even have the proximity mines, and not even mention the impact needs. You have the barbed wires to make sure that the attackers push will be weakened. But a 3v5 against Red Vipers, and also they haven't asked for a pause nor a rehost, and
oh
looks like
wow.
Aiden has decided to not go for it, man.
Hmm.
That is
All right then.
that is some good determination, not gonna lie.
10 seconds to go.
I mean, well, looks like Arc Avenger is back, and this time they will
5
ask
seconds
for
to
the
go.
rehost, and they're gonna have to because they want all
Attackers have
hands
located a bomb.
on deck.
Attackers'
And the
objective is
rehost,
to
I
defuse a
think,
bomb.
will go through. Potentially speaking, we're just waiting on confirmation from our admin's side, of course. As yeah, again, ready? Yeah, we are in fact going for the Rios, folks. The confirmation has come in. So a little unfortunate, everybody, but we're going to have to just wait before we get that third round underway once again. Get the players back in, get everybody set and ready because, as we all saw, Arc Avenger, I believe he was the fifth player who disconnected early in the ban phase, whom I didn't get to call out. So he's your fifth for Why Are We? And he's here. So, now the question is, actually, no, I'm not going to say it. Would have been a bit much. Would have been a bit much. I'll digress. But yeah, we're gonna have to take a little bit of a rehost here. Do apologize. It's been a while since we've been here, but again, it's just how our region has flowed. It's really out of the players' control at that as well. Power outages and PC crashes. A lot of it isn't necessarily anyone's fault. It just is how it is. So just bear with us a little, folks. We'll be back. But those first two rounds, fairly interesting. I think Red Vipers are mostly just vibing around as they do, going for quick executes, quick takes, and YRB definitely feels a little bit more like a new-ish team, seeing as they've made some rookie mistakes here. Of course, we're all here to watch them, and they're here to play and learn and see how things go when it comes to competitive Rainbow Six. So hopefully they can take some pointers from this more experienced team that is Red Vipers. Although I will say the hot drop from Buck from Red Vipers on the kitchen hats, that has to be a first for me, all things considered.
I mean, it is a first because most of the time, especially on a map like Clubhouse, you always reinforce the hatches. I mean, three important hatches, especially when you're defending on Basement Church and Arsenal. That would be in towards kitchen, bar, and stock. Those three hatch reinforcements is a must. If you do not, I repeat, if you do not reinforce those hatches, there is high likely a chance where the attackers might come in for a rush, and that's exactly what Red Vipers did. They took that advantage. They headed towards the side. They went in for the plant, made sure that the defenders would be pressured, having only 1 minute left with all five players still available and holding angles. This is definitely not looking good for Team YRV. And talking about the utilities, though, you do seem to see a lot of impact needs coming in from the defender side. Maybe for a moment there, I thought they were gonna use it to deny some the attackers gadgets, maybe the exothermic charge, maybe using the mirror walls on CCTV could do the trick. If you try to use that, then Red Vipers might have a lot of problems, opening up the walls on CCTV. But we haven't seen that site being brought up, but instead we've seen second floor gym brought up. We've seen basement church. Other than that, I believe why we will continue to go to the same site yet again, but hopefully this time bring a lot of trap operators. They have the Legion, they even have Capcan, not even mention they have the Valkyrie, which they have tons and tons of information in towards bar. They could use the default camps to figure out a way to counter Red Viper's attack capabilities. But the way how it's going at this point, we did see why we get at least one kill from the Legion on second floor gym, But other than that, we get to see a tremendous, a good comeback coming in from the Pulse as well from the second round. Basement Church and Arsenal, he was in Blue Room all by himself. The UMP did get one kill, whips out the pistol, takes out the Thatcher, but in the end, we saw the Buck get the kill in the end. So that was the entire 2 months, the 2 rounds recap on what exactly happened between Red Vipers and YRV. And talking about it, Red Vipers is definitely in the pain train, 2-0 against YRV. And since with the rehost, I believe it will take some, I hope we will be back in the match as soon as possible. But yeah, I do have to, ask this question to Jack once more. So, it's been a long time since we cast for a very long time. How you know how's that feeling when you came back from after a long while, I believe,
Hmm.
from from the TCR6 event? How does it feel to come back and cast matches like these?
I mean, it's at the end of the day, casting Rainbow Six is one of the big reasons why I still like this game, why I still play this game. Uh, Not as much as before, of course. We all know why. I don't need to get into that discussion here. But it's a big thing for me personally. And having, been interested in it since way back in 2018, which is a while ago now, it feels nice. I have to say, it feels nice just to be back and just watch some siege, just cast some great siege. And that's where the Nationals really, really stepped it up for me. And that's where I felt like I had to give my best performance, if you will. I'm sure at some point I'll probably outdo myself there again. But it's been great. To answer your question, Baba, it has been amazing. And I'm sure it has been for you as well. You also had a bit of a big break in the middle after the Pro League ended and after Stage 1 ended. So how did that feel, coming back as well? Since you're asking me this question, I might as well ask you back since we're both here anyway.
Well, last time I remember when the TC Rainbow Six event came to an end, I was actually in a cryo sleep mode, Jack. So, you know, yeah, I was in a cryo sleep for around 2 to 3 months. And when I heard that Lenovo AMD and Vijay Sales have made a decision to host another R6 tournament, I just immediately woke up from my cryo sleep and just said, "Yeah, I'm up for it. I'm ready to cast." It's been a long time since I cast Rainbow Six Siege, and I'm ready to get back up and do what I do best, and that is casting amazing games and also amazing matches for future matches. So again, we just I believe we have got a confirmation from the admin saying that the match is back up, I believe. If it is, then yeah, there you go. The match has been confirmed. The rehost is back, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, let's head back and resume the match of Red Vipers versus YRV. Round 3, the site will be on Basement Church and Arsenal Room with all 5 players in the lobby, especially on the side of YRV. We will
Hmm.
head back into the game and resume.
Absolutely. And it's good to see all the members of Why Are We here in full force as we move into round 3, Basement Church and Arsenal Room for this third round. Eagle Eye with the six pick this time, out of the Hibana into the Thatcher. The Capcan will stay from Arc Avenger this time around. And Dank, interestingly enough, with the Doc pick. I don't think we see Doc, too often, especially as of late. Even though the new op Thunderbird isn't going to be in competitive until the end of this season and the beginning of Year Six Season 3, Doc has definitely found himself a little, short of work in terms of healing his teammates because Thunderbird exists. I mean, you go into an online game of Rainbow Six, people will generally probably say, pick Thunderbird if you're picking a healer. Poor Doc, I kind of feel for him. He's the most humanitarian of this group, I'd say. But, it's always nice to see a Doc back in play. That MP5, ever reliable, and of course, barbed wires are always good to have. Slowing down the attackers in any way possible, generally a good idea. You have the Jaeger for denial. You have the Legion as well. Goo mines. Plenty of intel, as far as I can tell. But no pulse from the side of YRE. Looks like they won't be bringing him back for this round. And that's an interesting decision as well. No Valkyrie either, mind you. So in terms of visual feed information from the cardiac sensors or the black eye cams, that won't be as prevalent as it'll be down to sound cues when the barbed wires break, when the lesion mines go off. All of that is going to be what the defenders rely on more for this round.
Well, I would say that the adaptation game is might come into work for the defenders. I mean, you have Vision, who's already bringing the mute, and we've
Oh
already
boy.
seen Eagle Eye gets his first kill, taking out Realm this time. I believe that would be right from the main stairs. This is exactly where Legion was, where he was actually thinking of going for a spawn peek. And again, we will see Coffee without having any problems to take out the hatch right in towards kitchen, and will now establish dominance by opening up lines of sight in towards classroom. Now, this will force the defenders to fall back and reposition in a safe place, and that's exactly what Arc Avenger is doing. And hopefully
Oh
this
boy.
time if he shouldn't get naded, but Eagle Eye will comes in yet again, taking out Dank this time, and that too right in towards the blue room. Vision comes in at the right time to take out Eagle Eye and make sure that to make sure that the win would not be in their hands. Dark Lord, on the other hand, will come in to take out Arc Avenger, putting in YRV in a 4v2 situation. The push yet again comes in from Cypher, taking out Vision, and with that, Phaeton, the man who used to play Pulse and get a 3k, will unfortunately get
Oh
naded in the
dear.
hands of Maverick. In the end, we will see Team Red Vipers win round 3 Basement Church and Arsenal Room, giving them a 3-0 huge lead. And with the instant replay coming to an end, we will proceed to round 4, where the site will be on Gym and Bedroom.
Gym bedroom once again. An interesting lack of CCTV that we're coming to see from the side of why are we? Given that we're round 4 in now, and without a single defense win, they'd have tried this site. At least maybe, okay, maybe not this round. I get it. They want to try gym bedroom once again, but maybe CCTV would have been a better choice. Now, interestingly enough, we have Hibana being switched out for Amaru from the side of Eagle Eye. But the more interesting pick is Vision with Caveira. Of course, as Baba was saying, about just before the match itself began, we don't see Cav a lot, primarily because of, well, her silent step is good but not great. If you're really intently listening for it, you'll hear Cav, moving around even in her silent step mode, unless of course she's really just walking or jogging normally. Running Cav even in silent step is surprisingly loud for some reason. But yeah, Cav hasn't really been that effective, and she's mostly been unchanged in terms of her ability. Of course, the Louison received a little tweak where it did 65 66 damage, but had normal pistol drop off instead of the special drop off that it was given back in a release. So minor changes here and there, but nothing too much. And interestingly enough, Phaeton over there has got iron sights on his Echo. So yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Echo Iron Sight's not the worst, but not the best either. I'd say, having a scope, any kind of scope on that would be generally better. Eagle Eye, of course, zooms up to the roof as the Amaru does. And wait, is that jacuzzi wall unreinforced? I couldn't quite tell from the feed that we have. That's that would be very oh, it is unreinforced. All right, okay then. Bathroom wall is right up next for Coffee. He could just go for the breach and straight into sight. Very bizarre, strategy. And yeah, there we go. Amaru's already in from the looks of it, and there goes Arc Avenger to the gun. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh,
Phaeton.
no.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, he's gone. Oh boy. That did not work. Did not work. Oh boy, it is a collapse and a half from the side of YRV, as the plant won't even need to go down. Dark Lord will find the final player, and that will end round 4 as well. Oh boy, what a yeah, YRV are not looking too good. That's pretty much all I can say here.
Uh, Not quite sure what to say about the team YRV, although Phaeton, you know, Phaeton's triple kill should have at least, give them some morale boost on the opposition team, but unfortunately, it's always Red Vipers, not to mention Cypher and Eagle Eye, who's been, you know,
Oh,
making sure that they'll be able to win this match as best as possible. So, looks like Dank will be disconnected on the side of IRV. Again, very unfortunate, and I believe that they will continue for a 5v4 yet again, though the site will be on first floor bar and stock. An
Attackers need to
interesting
locate
site
and
to
defuse bombs.
talk about because we haven't seen second floor CCTV being brought up, and most of
Attackers
the
have located
sites
a bomb.
where the players would prefer to not play that site would be on bar and stock, because stock is very much close to the attacker's site, as I mean the attacker's spawn site in towards construction. So actually it's from warehouse, I do have to apologize. Construction is on towards the northeast side, and the warehouse spawn is right around the garage entrance and also from the stock entrance
10
too.
seconds
So
remaining.
bringing that site is going to cause a lot of problems, but also kind of
5
brings
seconds
in a
insertion.
surprise element to it, because you have a lot of trap ops.
Attackers are heading
Trap
out to
ops like
defuse
the
a bomb.
can. You even have information from the Valkyrie. All it needs is that one single C4 to change the entire tide of the game. Will it happen? Will it not? We're about to find out with the action phase coming in. And talking about it, they're already inside. Red Vipers, they're already pushing in, planning in
They
towards the site on stock. And Eagle Eye is already on the prowl and
Attackers
forcing
activate.
YRV on a total of 45 seconds post-plant situation. Again, not looking too good. Coffee already pushing in towards the side. Eagle Eye gets one. Archimedes gets the other, taking out Naughty Ashur. His shots preparing 9. Almost get the second though, but he will get the third. But no, it's going to be Eagle Eye who gets the triple kill.
Oh
An
dear.
accidental PK comes in from Dark Lord, and saying enough is enough, and I'll make sure I'll be the one to continue this streak. But Vision has something else to say. He takes out one, but in the end we will see Dark Lord claim the final kill and give Red Vipers the win yet again. So round 5, first floor bar and stock room. It's quite a quick match, as I like to call it, don't you think, Jack?
Uh, yeah, quick would definitely be, a bit of an understatement, as it were. I'm not really sure. Okay, Dark Lord seems to have disconnected in between rounds, but he is back. Red Vipers from their end are, of course, not having any issues. I'm just thinking like, okay, bar stock, I can get behind the idea. Even there are even some very viable strats for this site, but the most of them, if I remember correctly, involve
Defenders, protect your
a
bombs from being defused
rotation
by
in
attackers.
between sites, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I'm questioning a lot of things right now. I think, Baba, you can tell I'm questioning a lot of things right now seeing this game. Nothing against YR, remind you. They seem like very new to me, and they seem like they sort of know what they're doing, but they're going up against a team that has experienced a lot and played a lot, so they obviously are they're not doing
10
too
seconds to
well in
insertion.
this situation. Gym bedroom is the side of choice once again
5
on
seconds
round
to insertion.
6. No CCTV at all. Probably not their best site, but
Attackers must
then
locate
again,
and defuse a bomb.
as action phase will start up, Eagle Eye with the Amaru once again. Can he, just will he do it? Will he do it once again? Just yeet his way into sight. No, looks like it's going to be a take towards CC for the first time in this match, and it's a very fast take indeed. We have the Blitz going in with the Finka boost to boot, and of course you have the Capcan traps to go through and all that. No big trouble, really. No roamers either on this side, but Archavenger will actually get the first kill. That is a good first for the side of YRW, as Dark Lord will go down. Bandit up next, but Coffee gets down, but there we go. The kills are coming in, and it's a 3v2 suddenly towards Red Viper's side. Even with the Blitz down, he can be revived, and there we go. The Finka boost comes in, full revive. The shotgun's about to come out from Usher. Come on. One more. No, he's going to go straight for the plant instead. Blitz for cover, Cypher for cover. It's all coming in towards the end already of round 6 as the plant goes down.
Well, good attempt
Attackers
from
need to
Phaeton and
protect
Archavenger,
position
but in the
compromised.
end, we will see Rel get another one. Gets
Oh.
another one, taking
Oh.
out Coffee and Ashret. And with it, Cypher will be the last man standing. Almost picked out Vision to force himself into a 1v1. That, in fact, is definitely not a good idea. Realm will be the one to decide to go for a counter. He usually get it. No, he does not.
Oh!
Vision will come in to take out Cypher and give YRV their first defender win on second floor gym and bedroom. Good, I wouldn't say a good start, but in the end, we will see the defenders finally coming back to get their first win. A job well done for them, and with it, we will be able to end the halftime score 5-1. Keep that in mind that Red Vipers still need to win a total of three, I would say two defending rounds. My apologies. Two defending rounds for Team Red Vipers to win it out, and the site will be none other than Basement Church and Arsenal Room. Now, we will see six picks coming in from Eagle Eye, switching from the Valve to the Vigil, and Realm switching from the Ash to the Fuse. Now, is Fuse does play a very huge part, especially in towards Kitchen. And knowing that they
Attackers need
don't
to locate
have
and
a
defuse
Jaeger
bombs.
being brought up, this is a huge chance for Rev to get so much kills right from the site itself, unless and until if they don't take care of the roamers right away. And that roamer would be none other than Coffee and Eagle Eye. A lot of banters again from the all chat, especially from YRV, which on the side of Phaeton. But yeah, I do have to say that Vision, getting that triple kill did make sure that they would get that win, especially on the defense. But now they are in attack, and Red Vipers being the one on
10 seconds
defense.
left.
We will see Naughty Usher being, bringing up the alley button.
Seconds remaining.
I do heard that I did hear that she's been
Attackers'
buffed
objective is
with
to
the
locate a
MX4
bomb
Storm,
and
bringing
defuse
in
it.
the 1.5x scope. So it is, I would say, many players have decided to play this particular operator. Wait a minute, we will see Vision get the first kill instead, taking out Eagle Eye this time. Looks like that will equalize it 4-4 with Eagle Eye taken care of, and that right from the main lobby. The calls will come in, and that should give good amount of information from the side. The default camps is hacked, then that means the attackers have every single information that the defender is. So the only difference is, will we see Red Vipers hold their ground, or will YRV on attack win this attack?
Well, all things considered, Red
Attackers
Vipers
dropped the bomb
taking that
diffuser.
early first drop, not exactly the best
recover the
situation for
diffuser.
them to be in. Maybe they might not want to be, too ahead of themselves here, as Vision's going to find his second, taking out Coffee. That's the Cavetta off the board as the call goes out from the Dekebi. It's a logic bomb. Cypher, gotta be so careful here. He's got the shotgun in hand, mind you, so any approaching attackers got to be careful of the range of that thing. As we all know, the 590 hits like a truck and hits far at that too. But Vision seems to have completely forgotten for the fact that the smoke was there just a second ago. Cypher retreated thinking that Vision had seen him, but I don't think he had actually, as we have the Fuse approaching from main stairs slowly but surely. Not sure if if many of the cluster charges went off in the meanwhile, but if they did, they would have been not too useful. As we see a default cam spotting the sledge Arc Avenger up towards second floor, as one will go down. That's Vision. That's your killmaker gone. Excuse me right there. Found myself distracted from that situation. But with the Dekebi gone, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, quite a lot more difficult actually, but Phaeton is here to find one in return. Ushret to go down, making it a 2v2. As Dark Lord, I believe the Aruni, has abandoned sight only to go and kill the sledge. That's Arc Avenger down. That is your diffuser drop. And now all they need to do is hold that diffuser. Cypher will go down as well. Phaeton's pushing up for his team. But can he get the last one? Pushes up the stairs and unfortunately right into the waiting arms of Dark Lord, who will find the final kill with the P10 Roni. And with that, folks, another round goes to the favor of Red Vipers. This one a little bit closer than I think anyone anticipated. It looks like YRB might have a little spark of a fight in there, but they're going to need to do a big monumental task, and well, that's not going to help.
Oh boy. Uh, a bad day though for YRV. Already losing two of the players. I mean, they did picked up one of their rehost, and now since again, I believe we will have to figure out a way and see if we could fix this situation. Huh. Interesting. I mean, I,
Very.
I mean, I do have to admit, especially from the way how Sledge was at the main stairs. He did say that he had a lot of issues, so hopefully this time he would come back. And yeah, talking about Red Vipers though, they're just chilling, 6-1. They just need one more point to win against the team called YRV. The only thing that I can say about YRV is that they at least participated. You know, they participated knowing that they had no idea on on how to hold the site nor on how to attack, but they're giving it all they've got. And talking about Phaeton, I believe the
Attackers
one
need
who
to
was playing
locate and
as
defuse as many
Tokebi,
bombs as they can.
getting those 3 to 4 kills is not an easy task. Although I do have to admit they are not using the utilities up to their full potential, they are giving their best, and they are getting some good results in the end. Most of the gunfights we've seen, why
Discovered the
RV is still
location of a
winning
bomb.
those gunfights without the use of utilities. Maybe if they use some certain utilities like a frag grenade to try to eliminate one of the players by surprise, we could see why are we winning some of those rounds. But I really don't think that's going to happen, knowing that already 2 players has already been disconnected, forcing YRV to contest in a 5v3 situation. Now at
Attackers'
Vipers,
objective is to
all they
defuse
have
a
to
bomb.
do is just
The
wait for the
attacker's bomb
attackers to
diffuser
push
has been
or
dropped.
go for a spawn peek by themselves. The spawn though will be from the main entrance, whereas Vision and Realm will slowly make their way from the main entrance, and Eagle Eye will place a total of 2 Mira mirrors right from outside CCTV. The first kill will come in from Realm,
Oh,
taking out Coffee. The Alibi MX4 1.5x didn't work out well in her favor, so Cypher will fall back mainly in towards the bar and try to eliminate one of the players. But Dark Lord comes in to take both of them, Vision and Realm, right from outside the CCTV window. And with it, we will see Phaeton, poor guy, all by himself, and he needs to find 4 players. And now they will try to hunt down Phaeton. Unless and until Fatal has something else to say. No, it does not. Dark Lord will comes in with a P90 to get the final kill and also give the win for Red Vipers 7-1 against YRV. Again, a good effort from the a good effort from the opposition team, but in the end, it's sad to say that they will be eliminated out of this tournament. And talking about Red Vipers, though, congratulations to them. They will head on to the next phase. So, again, I would say a very quick round, 7-1. Red Vipers did win it out. And yeah, Clubhouse, a very quick match as we proceed to the next match, which will be Akash Kidads going up against Chemical X. So, a very interesting match, as I'd like to say. Again, new teams, although we have no idea on how it's going to work out. But yeah, Jack, what do you have to talk about this first match being on map on Clubhouse?
I think all things considered, why are we? They came here, they gave it a shot, and of course, it didn't quite work out, yeah, all things considered. But hey, we're here to learn, and of course, the best way to learn at the end of the day is from your mistakes. So, to why are we? If they are thinking of participating in other Rainbow Six tournaments, and if they're watching this video VOD back, excuse me, right there, just a little bit more team coordination goes a long way, and of course knowing how to defend the side that you guys are on. And that's not a slight against you guys, don't take it that way, but for sure you'll need to figure out your reinforcements, your rotations, and certain operators where which site needs what ops. You can't exactly just play Vigil and Capcan for all sites and then expect it to work. It doesn't really work that way. But of course, I can't necessarily say anymore, because after this, it'll just cross the limit into me just straight up telling them how to play the game. I don't want to do that. Of course, this game can be played in a multitude of ways, and I think we should leave it at that. So a very quick first game, a very quick and not too difficult win for the side of Red Vipers, 7-1 to them on Clubhouse. They will go through to the next stage, and we will, of course, go into the next game in a little short period, and that is, of course, Akash Kidads versus Chemical X. We also have, of course, the highlights, folks, to go over from this first match that we just had. And I think we all know what most of what we're going to say is going to be is that why are we? They have an idea of what they need to do, so to speak, but they're having issues, they're having issues really cementing themselves in any really meaningful way, shall we say. And of course, one other thing I definitely did was butcher a couple of their names. That's just how it is when I'm seeing a couple of new names on screen. So yeah, that's basically how the match went, and that's basically how this first match has been for us.
Well, the only thing I do have to appreciate on YRV is the gunfights, because most of the gunfights we saw, especially on the defending rounds on Basement Church and Arsenal Room, they almost had it 1v1. The Hibana not having any information as to where exactly their location was didn't give them the win exactly, but they did, however, win the defender round on second floor gym and bedroom in round 6. I mean, like I said, gunfights were, the only way that wire we were trying to win some of the rounds, but unfortunately, it's the utilities and reinforcements that they couldn't quite figure it out well on their end. So, yeah, Red Vipers, a clean win. And talking about why RV needs a lot of, room for, needs to, like there's a lot of room for improvement. I'm not gonna lie about it, because we've seen a lot of players who immediately join from the tournament. Sometimes it is going to be difficult going up against experienced teams. Now the only thing that you can do is just like Jack said, rewatch the ward, try to see what kind of mistakes that you did, maybe try to use some utilities, maybe try to go according to the meta ops. You have a lot of meta ops to be brought up, so maybe that might work out. And especially from the ban phase on how Red Vipers went, banning out Ella, it is the reason why we ban Ella is because of her shotgun itself, the FO12, the amount the amount of how damage it provides, and also the fire it is absolutely insane. I mean, it's almost equal, it's almost equal to an SMG, but still the FO12 giving so much damage, and you won't be able to contest the stairs if you see an Ella lying around, but there is always a countess to it, and you just need to figure it out, because in a game of Rainbow Six Siege, no matter if one thing is always powerful, there is always a way to counter it no matter what. So maybe if you try to figure out what kind of counter it is, you could figure out a way. But for now, we will see why are we eliminated from this tournament. It is a sad moment for them, but Red Vipers will continue to move forward. Although the next match, Akash K Dad versus Chemical X, is I would say that we don't have any information on what kind of maps we have. So yeah, what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ask for them. So for now, we're just going to take a short break, and we'll be right back after this.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lenovo plus AMD The Rising in association with Vijay Sales, here with your host Blackjack and my co-host Babagusta, as we are here for the second match of day one. After a very, very quick beginning to the night, a very quick beginning by Red Vipers indeed, steamrolling over Why Are We? Still a very interesting team name, by the way. 7-1 on the map of Clubhouse. Now, of course, we're going from one ye olde favorite to another ye olde favorite, as they say. Oregon will be the next up for our second match of the night. Chemical X taking on Akash Kedads. Very, very interesting names once again over here at The Rising. So, it's always going to be a good time. And this one's actually going to be very interesting because it's mostly teams I've never heard of. At least both of them. I've never heard of these teams before. So I'm very interested to see the players, how they go about playing the maps, and what are their strategies and all that, because it's always fun to try and figure those out. But before, of course, I pass the mic over to Babagusta, one final thing. Do check out the link down in the description below for an ongoing giveaway. Good luck down there. Babagusta, how you feel about this game?
Well, starting off, just like you said, Jack, we have absolutely no idea on what kind of players that we're going to, see on a team like Akash K Dads versus Chemical X. Now, once we, get to the match and hopefully we get to see the name of, the players competing in those teams, we could maybe try to, predict on what exactly is going to happen. But, the map being on Oregon, I believe I really don't think that a lot of assault rifles or SMGs might come into play. I mean, we might see a lot of shotguns. Shotgun is particularly kind of the meta right now. But I mean, when it comes to weapons in close range, but in long range, it's always the assault rifles which always get into the play. So just got a confirmation from the admin saying that the match is on. So without further ado, let's just jump in on our second match. Well, we see Chemical X on attack, Akash Kidads on defense, with the map being on Oregon. So with the ready confirmations already coming in, I sure hope so we will head in to the ban phase and try to see what kind of bans that we will expect to see from these teams. Starting off with Akash K Dads, they will ban the Thatcher, a very common operator, because an EMP which can destroy any utility through the soft breaches. The only operator that can be able to do that would be none other than Kali. She has the CSRX type rifle and also the SPSMG as her secondary. A very difficult one, but we will see Chemical X deciding to ban Flores. Now, Flores has been quite a nuisance when it comes to destroying the deployable shield meta, because most of the time a deployable shield will be placed with a few amount of ADSs and Vomice magnet needs to prevent the explosive projectiles to destroy it. But since Flora being brought up, it negates not only just the ADSs but also the Vomice magnets too, being a huge problems for the defender. So they will decide to ban the Flores, and another ban will come in from Chemical X themselves, taking out the Vomai instead. They understood the motives of the defenders and they've made a decision to ban, and which we will see Akash K Dads, banning the final defender. That would be the Clash. Again, these are very huge game changing operators which will no longer be in play as we proceed to the first round, and we will take how about we just introduce the rosters on the side of Chemical X? We have Jin, we have MBK, Bordwayo, Xylo, and Hazin. And on the side of Akash K Dads, we have Lincoln, we have Alutiki, Amai, John Viff, and Diablo. With the side being
Okay,
on basement, laundry, and supply room, we will head in to the first round.
Well, a couple of familiar names right off the bat, of course, MBK and Board Veo. I do remember them back from the times of the Pro League over here at the Esports Club, as a 6-pick will be taken by Elgato Diablo. Okay, then, as I think I was just going to stick with Diablo right there. Elgato Diablo is a little long, but the 6-pick goes from the smoke to the Kaid. Very interesting, to switch out smoke for the basement site. I'm not sure if that is the best idea per se. Maybe Capcan could have been switched out instead, because smoke is very, very reliable and very commonly played on this site. So it's more of a case of I haven't necessarily seen a non-smoke present round on basement, rather than a just the other point of smoke not being present most of the time. It's just again, Kaid can be countered by the operator Xylos playing, and that is of course the Mavericks. So very interesting decision making here from Akash K Dads. They probably did see the fact that Mav was in play and still decided to go for the 6-pick on Kaid, maybe thinking they might be able to take out Maverick first. Maybe Maverick could be the first to fall, and that could give them quite a bit of access to to deny access for the attackers. A bit of a roundabout statement over there. Do excuse me for that. But all things considered, it's going to be a fairly standard first round, I think, droning from from all the attackers, right there, as they just figure out where the defenders are sitting. John Whiff over there, the mute, very brazen to try and put down a mute jammer in front of an open wall next to the Mira window. Could have been shot through there at any given point, but he wasn't, of course, fortunate for him, as we have Board Veo over here trying to set himself up on tower first floor.
Well, the drone works from Chemical X is giving good amount of information right in towards meeting room. Now they will slowly have to make their way from the basement stairs. Now talking about Akash K Dads, they don't have any roamers present, so they will make a total hole instead. Talking about Mira's the Mira's placement, which will be placed right in towards the electric room. The main problem that they have to deal with is the player opening up the hatches in towards meeting. John whiffing those shots, letting the drones give away good amount of information right in towards that electric room will force the defenders to fall back. And doing that, they are falling back indeed. Talking about Mira, though, who might get caught off.
Oh.
And there you have it. Hazen with the LMG. We get one, we get two, taking out Alu Tiki right in towards the basement laundry. And now he will slowly make his way in towards the freezer. There is one player, and that would be the Kaid. Will take out some important utilities such as the AESs. And talking about time, they have all the time they need, and what Chemical X needs to do is to just push slowly and make sure that they have a good amount of information, and then slowly make their way in towards the side. Grenades being tossed out, but gets caught off from the ADSs, which would make sure that Ami would survive in a place like that. The Argus cams giving away perfect information on where exactly the Kaid is, and gets taken out by none other than Sam Fisher himself. Ami is again still holding for his dear life, though. With the ADSs taken care of, we will see Bordweo taken care of, with him being downed but not out. MBK on the other hand taking out Ami, and with it the last will be none other than John Whiff, and MBK comes in to take out the final player as well. First round will go to the favor of Team Chemical X, winning basement, laundry and supply room. And that's what happens when you try to mix sugar, spice and everything nice.
Well, I don't think, everything was quite nice for Akash K Dads over there. They definitely, could have done a little bit better. I did like the setup that they were going for, but again, without the smoke, you're looking at a very large lack of denial, area denial specifically from the side of the defenders. Smoke can buy you very, very precious time. And as we saw, the Capcan traps weren't really doing much, excuse me, out there for the side of Chemical X. Well, against Chemical X, that is. And there we go. A 6-pick does come in, taking out the Bandit in favor of the smoke for John Whiff. Now, of course, the site itself is changed. Second floor kids' dorms and dorms lane hall, where Kaid can be used a little bit more freely for the attic wall and, of course, the bedroom closet wall. So nothing really to say about the Bandit 6-pick right there. You don't necessarily need two electrical interference operators in this site, so the Kaid will suffice, and the smoke will be brought into play. Much needed, like I said, for the side of Akash K Dads. On the other side, Chemical X, I mean, like I mentioned, a couple of familiar names in there, a couple of old names, so to speak, and I can definitely see them doing quite well in this encounter, should Akash K Dads not rise up to the challenge. A good first round, near flawless, I have to say, even though, nobody actually did get killed. Bordveo was down, so it's not as flawless as, they would have wanted it to be, but a fantastic start nonetheless. Let's see how they go about pushing on a second floor this time around.
Talking about Bordweyo, though, he'll be the one bringing up Sam Fisher again with a secondary hard breach, which can be used to either open up the walls either from the games room or towards the attic. Now, the only question is that how will they figure out a way to take out Haid? He will get droned out right in towards the armory. Needs to be worried about the player. Instead, he will just drop down from garage and slowly make his way from the stairs.
Oh,
Looks like he'll be able to find one. That is Sam Fisher yet again on the prowl. He gets detected. Diablo needs to figure out a way, so he will take the C4 and try to run away. When will he succeed? Yes, he does. In a bit of an expense of utilities and HP taken care of. But in the end, we will see Chemical X slowly making their way, opening up the walls in towards the games room, and MBK making sure that they have control in towards Trophy. Now here, where this part gets fishy from Akash K Dads. Just as talking about it, Xylo comes in with a bit of an oopsie, taking out MBK, his own teammate, and that's going to give Akash K Dad the opportunity that they need, a 4v5 in which the attackers are now feeling the pain.
I mean, yeah, taking out the sledge at this crucial juncture of the game, not that good, especially to a friendly grenade at that. Because that's a couple of grenades that they definitely would have needed going forward from here. But looks like Hazin will go down as well. That's John whiff to take him off. Definitely didn't whiff that shot in that situation. We saw for just a second Bordway trying to go up the kitchen stairs, and he will actually get one there. That's Lincoln shot dead, and that is the frost off the board. No more 9mm C1, but those frost traps are still present all over the place, so they will need to be careful of entry, because when they do, you got to be careful of Capcan traps, you got to be careful of frost mats. Interestingly enough, talking about Capcan traps, am.ix, still not really sure how to pronounce the name right there, but never mind. Alutiki trying to go for a bit of a pre-fight through the soft wall there, gets himself taken out instead by giving away his position. Diablo on top of kitchen stairs also has to be so careful because Bordway was prowling that area. Jin, in the meanwhile, with the diffusers, decided to go all in, and he might just be able to go for the plant. He will not just yet. He's waiting for something. Xylo will take a bit of damage. Got to be careful of his position. Diablo trying to stop the plant. Can't. Jin's going to get it off nice and quickly, but the Maverick will go down to the Capcan in the meanwhile. 2v3. As it's all down to Chemical X's last two standing attackers. Bordveo gets a few shots in, but John Whiff will live that, and in fact take him down in return. Now it's a 1v3, make that a 1v2. Jin finds one. That's a Capcan down. Will he find another one? No, what a shot from Diablo right there. He will find the ace, take him out on the game's window, and that will be the counter defuse for Akash Dads in round 2, equalizing on the early game score count.
What an amazing post-plant recovery from Akash K Dads, equalizing it 1-1. This might be an interesting game to look at, Jack, but yeah, just like we did get to see Xylo accidentally TKing MBK, that actually did cost quite a lot of manpower, and also not to mention the utilities. That Sledge would have figured out a way to destroy those at the right amount of second. This time we will see Lincoln being, bringing up the Ella this time, the Grismuth mine, and also the only question is, will we see him bring in the Scorpion or not? He'll just decide to go in for a 6-pick and just bring in Legion instead. A good trap operator, again, just like I said. Ella and Legion both are the trap operators. It's just depending on what kind of methods do you want to go to. Do you want to go the lethal method or the non-lethal one? And talking about Legion's goo mines, they are quite a devastating gadget, because not only does it restricts the player from sprinting, but also it makes sure that the defenders would get that information. In a game like Rainbow Six Siege, intel is key, and Akash K Dads definitely need to have those information as best as possible, because according to their optics, the only information that they can gather is via the default camps, in which the attackers will destroy from time to time. It's just that they need to get this timing right. We will see some deployable shield being brought off from Altiki, especially right from the elbow of Blue Bunker, and a lot of drone works and early drone spots being placed, especially on the side of Chemical X. One in towards the big tower entrance, and the second should be from maybe from the big tower, to make sure the there wouldn't be any defenders who decide to go for a cheeky spawn pick right from the window. So with it, we will see the attacker slowly gaining momentum and gaining control, but at the same time, as we will see the Zofia not bringing in the M7 primary weapon, as we heard about that huge nerf, increasing a good amount of recoil from it. But we will see Lincoln take a lot of damage. Not sure exactly from who though. That will force him to fall back right in towards the meeting. This time we will see Akash K Dad bring in some roam clearance. Actually, not roam clearance, sorry. I would say some roam presence right in towards meeting room. So this will try to, delay some time here for Chemical X, unless and until if they take care of Legion as soon as possible. This shouldn't be much of a problem. Again, Lincoln is in big trouble, so he will fall back right in towards the kitchen, and I believe he will slowly make his way in towards the freezer. No harm done. The only difference is that Legion needs to make his shots count, because if he misses one shot, the attackers will retaliate back and eliminate him as soon as possible. Xylo will continue to use his breaching torch to open up the hatch in towards meeting, and with it, Chemical X is slowly making their way. Although Lincoln has something else to say by taking out Xylo. This is actually huge though, because he was so busy in towards meeting, as we will see Alutiki trying to engage a gunfighter in towards the main stairs. Looks like Chemical X is starting to falter. Alutiki has gone down with that same wall bang being made from the attacker. The nade will come in. Will it connect? Yes, it does. Alutiki goes down in the hands of MBK, making it a 4v4. And with that pre-fire, MBK almost got the shot around from Legion, but somehow he survives in the freezer. This man has the luck of the Irish. Talking about the time for Akash K Dads, all they need is to wait for 50 seconds. The nade from MBK, will it connect? Yes, it does, but it's way too far. It's going to give Akash K Dad another opportunity, but look at that. Jin comes in to take out Diablo. Now we will see Chemical X going in for the plant. John with a huge flank. We will see him down board, but at what cost? And that cost is going to be deadly actually. The denial comes in from Lincoln yet again right into his freezer. And looks like a 3v3 will come in, having a total of 20 seconds left. Lincoln has done so much for their team. Even though he's so low on HP, he is giving kills and making sure that the attackers wouldn't even lay hands on towards the side. But Hazin comes in, taking out Amai and Lincoln both at the same time. And with it, we will see John all by himself. And he needs to clutch this one out in a 1v2 situation. He has the smoke gas cancer. No, he does not. Which he is now stuck in a post-plant situation. Hazin made sure that the recovery would come in, and now John is left all by himself, and he's gonna take out board way with the SMG-11. And with it, we will see Hazin in a 1v1 fight. Will we see John win that gunfight is the main question. He doesn't have any information though. Most of the default camps have been destroyed, and all Hazin needs to do is to wait for that defuse sound to come in. If it does, all he has to do is just pre-fire himself to glory and get that kill. But sad to say for John, time is running out. He needs a total of 6 seconds for that defuse, and looks like he is going to stick. A counter defuse will come in, but unfortunately he is at the point of no return. The concussions will come in to deny their plant, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We will see Chemical X win round 2 second floor kids and actually I apologize, round 3 basement laundry and supply room, all thanks to Hazin's triple kill.
Quite the round, all things considered, from the side of both Chemical X and Akash Kadads. Definitely looked like the defending excuse me right there, the defending team could get away with the round itself, but unfortunately it was not to be for them. Chemical X just had the upper hand in most of the situations in any given point of the round, and that simply allowed them to get away with more advantages, more excuse me, forward pushes than the defenders would have wanted them to have. And unfortunately, of course, that has led to this 2-1 situation that we find ourselves in. Chemical X have a bit of a lead right now, and on Oregon, of course, going into defense with a lead or at least a 3-3 equalizer, always a good idea. Basement will be the side of choice again from the side of Akash Kadads. Looks like they do not want to try the first floor kitchen, dining, or meeting and kitchen sites. Understandable, those sites aren't necessarily the best that Oregon has to offer, especially with basement or second floor still up for grabs. But it's not the worst either. Maybe if basement isn't quite working out, you could try those first floor sites. Maybe it could work out. Maybe you never
Attackers are
know. You
moving
could
out to
have a
locate
sudden
bomb
win
and defuse it.
and then put yourselves 2-2 up
Changing mags.
and then go on from there. It's all about getting those rounds, right? Getting the round means getting to a site first that you are fairly comfortable with. Now, I'm not saying that just to win a round you should go to an uncomfortable site or an unknown site. No, not at all. And that's what Akash Cadet is doing. They are going to a site that they know and they have clearly practiced before. Even though this alibi strat is quite interesting, only to make some some small poke holes in those otherwise rotation walls of sight and put a prisma down to try and distract the attackers. Not the worst idea, but I don't know about the execution of that. I guess we'll find out when we do later in the round.
Well, we're about to find out though, and we will see, Boardwayo bringing in the Sam Fisher yet again. Those Argus cams are giving so much information to Chemical X that would
Bomb
halt
located
some
by
of the
attackers.
roam games coming in, especially on the side of defense. And I believe that should be Alutiki, who's heading towards second floor, and he's gonna be having a hard time dealing with not only just the cams but also dealing with multiple angles being provided from Chemical X. Talking about Akash Kedads, they are yet again waiting for the attackers to make their push, again with the turtle hold. This time we're about to see what Chemical X has in stores. I believe that they have good amount of explosive utilities, but MBK comes in to take out Lincoln right towards the supply room. Was about to go in for a control in towards electric, but had no idea that the hatch was open in towards meeting, and he is going to be he's going to be happy about this. Although that refrag should be vital for Akash Kedad, but Xylo comes in yet again, and that too back towards the hatch to take out yet another operator. But Elgato comes in to take out Xylo instead. Beautiful shot though from MBK right in towards the freezer. Looks like the entire team starts to fall apart on the side of Akash, which leads Amai, the last player standing, needs to hold out a 1v4 situation. He will he will take out that stim pistol, but he needs to get out at the right time as Bordeaux comes in to finish off the last player on the side of defense. And looks like Chemical X is just making sure that they would stay in the lead 3-1. And the only question for Akash Kedads is what kind of site are they going to pick? Will they go and pick on second floor, or will they go back and pick basement laundry? Because on a map like Oregon, you expect to pick first floor site as a last resort. You don't pick it immediately and decides to, maybe hold their side. That's exactly what that's how common Oregon sites are, unless and until if you have practiced a lot on a site on first floor dining kitchen or maybe kitchen on meeting, things would have escalated in a different form. But hey, Akash K Dads just decided to
Attackers need
stay
to
on
locate
for
and
a
defuse
simpler
as many
strat,
bombs as they
and
can.
it did work out well on the second on second round. But let's see what's going to happen in this round, though, the site being on second floor kids. Last thing I remember, Jack, we saw MBK getting TK'd by none other than his teammate Xylo. Do you think it's going to happen again?
I highly doubt that, Bob. I don't think a team kill is quite in the cards this round, but then again, I didn't think it was back when it happened, so could be any number of things that could excuse me, rather, transpire from the side of Chemical X. They will definitely want to avoid that, however, seeing as MBK this time around is playing Iana, an operator with a very, very large amount of intel gathering potential. That friendly grenade would definitely not be healthy for. So maybe staying away from Xylo would be a good idea. I mean, it's just like a wide berth, it's 10 meters, probably a good distance to keep from the Maverick while he's doing his work. I mean, accidents happen, right? At the end of the day, accidents happen. I've been on the other end of Maverick grenade-related accidents while playing Maverick myself, so I know how it feels, and it doesn't feel all that great. So I can definitely empathize, sympathize with Xylo, but at the same time, just for MBK's sake, he might just want to, clear out while the Maverick goes to town. Speaking of Maverick, he's gone all the way towards the big tower as the shots coming towards John Whiff, but ironically, they will whiff on him instead as the smoke just, walks away nice and easily, no problems whatsoever. Jin trying to set up on the closet wall, trying to get a breach done, but looks like that is not in the question just yet. Hazin with the LMG is trying to do something as well, and that is clear out that deployable shield. ADS will burn out one of his projectiles. Second one goes out. That should take care of the shield, hopefully. As in the meanwhile, oh, that's not a good breach from the Maverick. Hazin does take down Diablo, but the tower breach not looking too good right now, not even as a line of sight. Hazin gets a double in the meanwhile, taking down Alutiki and Diablo back to back. Not good for the side of the defense. As a third comes off this one from MBK.
A 5v2. Chemical X is definitely not stopping their train at all. Seeing MBK and Hazin already eliminating 3 of the players on the side of defense, the only 2 players left would be Amai and John Whiff. And a minute remains for the defenders to hold their ground. It's not going to be easy though for the defenders at all. Information will come in, so does the grenade, which will make sure that John Whiff will not go in for the post. The default plant will come in from Jin, and this time we will see the defenders going in for a post-plant situation. Amai comes in with the Spetsnaz operator to take out Hazin for similar 4v2, but is it enough though? The smoke gas canisters will come in, and I believe Smoke thinks that the plant is right towards the default plant. Unfortunately, it's not. Again, the push comes in from MBK, and it's going to be MBK winning that gunfight as Jin comes in with the final kill, as we are going to see Chemical X win round 5, second floor kids and Dom's main. Again, a huge, a good effort from the defenders, although the way how the Maverick was trying to use his breaching torch to open up the attic wall wasn't a good idea, because he left so much angles for the defenders to work out with. If Maverick gets caught up from his own holes, that would have given the entire control of attic for the defenders, and they could have they would have held their ground. Not even mention Smoke would have brought a shotgun close range and could have eliminated some of the players. But in the end, we will see Akash K Dads losing round 5, second floor kids Doms, as we proceed to round 6, bringing in the same side yet again. Looks like the mixture of sugar, spice, and everything nice is really working out well, unless and until if they don't accidentally put, the Chemical X inside it.
I mean, you never know. In the reference you're talking about, that Chemical X actually helped, all things considered. So who knows? Maybe adding a little bit of Chemical X, if this team gets into a bit of a pressure situation, would be a good idea. But of course, that depends on if they are pressured at all today, which so far not really a whole lot. And the one round that they've lost, that too was on second floor kids dorms and Dorsmain Hall. That primarily began because MBK found himself on the receiving end of a rather unpleasant gift, if you will, from his own teammate. So with that not happening, you can see that Akash Kadads didn't really have any way to take an advantage of any mistake that Chemical X made. And sure, there were some mistakes that I could see. Positioning and all and usage of utility were definitely a little off from the side of Chemical X. Overall, their performance was better than Akash Kadads, and that's all you really need. Interesting time for the Mozzie to be sending out one of his pests. Active use of those things is always nice to see, but he might want to be careful of his surroundings, because Bordveo was, of course, right there with an Argus cam ready to take his face clean off should he see him. It's just that there wasn't enough time in that quick peek that Lincoln did for him to get much off of it. For the time being, of course. MBK droning. I think he knows for a fact that there's somebody on the first floor of tower, as Azin, with the LMG in hand on the Zofia and the breach charges as well, pushes in towards bedroom. John Whiff, unfortunately, will not be whiffed on. He's going to get taken down, but so goes Xylo. Excuse me right there, as Alutiki will finish him off with a beautiful headshot, just like Baba was saying, through the holes of the Maverick.
Oh boy. I mean, even with that equalizer, though, taking out Maverick is actually a big deal this time. I believe the entire attic will still be in the control of the defenders, and this is looking good. Unless and until if they give up their control, that's not going to look out too well either. I believe that's one of the cap can traps maybe triggered, or maybe it's just the impact needs being used to take out the Ace's Selma Breach charge. Though the walls will be open in towards the attic, and looks like board Wayo will come in with the SC2000 to take out Lincoln, and also Alutiki in the hands of Azin. A 4v2 comes in, whereas Am I and Diablo are the only two players left. Make that one player left as Jin comes in to take Diablo out. Now, the Capcan, again all by himself, he has one impact need. He could use it to try to at least deal 50 damage into it. He will get MBK though, but can he guess the second though? Hazin with the LMG, he has so much ammo from that gun. All he has to do is just pre-fire, and he will do exactly just that. With the final player taken care of, Hazin will make sure that Chemical X will stay in the lead, winning 5-1 on round 6, second floor kids and Dom's main hall, and whether the half time will come in with the halftime score of 5-1. Talking about round 7 though, we will see a role swap where Chemical X will be the one on defense and Akash Ke Dads on the attack. Now, the only thing that I can talk about, you know Akash Ke Dads, especially on the defensive side in the first half, is that there are so many attempts where Boardwayo, actually not Boardwayo, the Valk on the previous round, I believe that was John Viff, was slowly making his way from the main stairs. You Maybe it would have been better if you had a Valk cam placed in towards the attic to know good amount of information, and I believe he did. And as he was slowly making his way from the main stairs, he got caught off by surprise because he
Attackers need to
already
locate and
heard
defuse as
the
many bombs
footsteps
as
on
they
where
can.
exactly his location was, and Chemical X took care of that opportunity. And yeah, talking about the sites that Akash Kedad picked out, we haven't seen them pick first floor dining and kitchen. The only sites we've seen is basement laundry and second floor kids dorms. And not being able to win those important rounds is going to give Chemical X a huge lead, 5-1, which means Akash Kedads needs to win 4 attack rounds in a row, and that is not going to be easy, Jack, especially on a map like Oregon, because
10 seconds to go.
this map is specifically favored for the defense, and the way how the operator has been picked, I mean, talking about the utilities itself, you get to see, a total of 2 C4s, 4 deployable shields, and not to mention, 4 barbed wires, apologies. I mean, who would have think a 4 deployable shield would come in, especially, with the metas being changed and all. 1 deployable shield, and I believe that would be in the hands of Smoke, and MBK will, I believe he'll place it right into towards the second floor kid's doorway. Now, we will see Akash Kedad slowly making their way in towards the, the big tower, making sure that they have good amount of information, and Boardwayo, good usage of those cams. I believe he's going to relay that information to Hazin. And there you go, the yellow pings will come in, indicating that one of the attackers is right from that location. Oh boy, that did not work out well here, because Lincoln exactly knew what was happening, and he is going to eliminate Boardwayo. Very unfortunate, even with the information, somehow Lincoln survives that. And also, not to even mention, the cam is still available, and looks like Hazin will take care of that opportunity to eliminate him. A 4v4, an equalizer will come in, but yet another advantage comes in from Amai, taking out Hazin, putting it a 3v4.
Very interesting to note that the first 3 kills of this round have been in that region, right? Excuse me there. The region of the games room window on second floor and the classroom window first floor, as Xylo will take down one more. That's John Whiff off the board. Big drop right there. Of course, as we've seen before, John Whiff is definitely quite the player for the side of Akash Kedads. Definitely one of their better fraggers, all things considered. At least in this game he is top 2 right now for them, even though that isn't necessarily saying much given the current score situation. 5-1 in favor of Chemical X, a huge lead that the current defenders hold. What they need to do, however, is not peak as wide and as recklessly as they have been so far. They have been very reckless with their peaks and their decision-making. Diablo, not sure why you would go into the smoke right there, but you do you, buddy. He's going to lose half of his health and be forced to flee back into tower. nice and quickly, of course. That is the power of the smoke right there. That is MBK at work. He's going to throw out another one and force Diablo back, but he's going to get taken down instead by Alutiki, who's pushed up and gets taken down by Jin, coming in to cover as Elgato takes a bit of damage, trying to push up as well. He is, of course, the sledge. He's got the L85, but he's got to be careful of his health. Not a whole lot of it left. He's going up against two full HP operators, and even his teammate, the Ash, is currently slightly low on health as well. So they've got to be careful how they go about this. They've got Sude gates to deal with, and of course operators to deal with as well. Xylo with a quick double to finish it off for his team, as that will wrap up round 7. Oh, not a good round at the end of the day for the side of the attack right now. Akashka Dads once again falling apart. This time, even though they had a good trade game coming around, for themselves, right, against Chemical X, you'd think that going into defense, Chemical X would just run away with it, but Akashka Dads definitely held on quite well in the early to mid rounds. Unfortunately, when they couldn't find their footing, that's when they really fell apart. I can definitely tell that they're a team that's got a lot of potential. They just need to work on their mid to late rounds. And of course, once they do that, their execute will naturally fall into place. It's like you're assembling a big puzzle piece, right? And as soon as you get the main pieces done, everything else just sort of falls into place by itself. You know where this one's going to go, you know where that piece goes, and then everything falls into place into the big picture. That's what I'm seeing from Akashka Dads. They have their puzzle pieces, but arranging them going into the execute is a little bit difficult for them at the time being. And Chemical X, again, now that I see the names that are in this roster, I can definitely see why they would be strong contenders in this phase of the tournament.
But although the same can't be said to Akash Dad, though, although I do have to appreciate the amount of determination and dedication that they have. Great amount of kills coming in from John and Ami. I believe with the Ying being brought up, I expect to see a rush coming in from the side of the attackers. And I believe all 5 of the players have already been spawned in towards construction, except Ying, I believe, who's been spawned in towards Junkyard. Now, I don't think a rush will be in effect. Yep, there you go. No rushes. It's just a simple drone and clear, give information, know exactly what Chemical X's game plan is, and then they'll slowly make their way in towards the basement. Although the meeting hatch, opening meeting hatch should be their main priority, and also taking out the double shield. And here comes Vayo, taking out Ami, whips out the deagle and gets the confirmation to take out the Ying. Puts it in a 5v4. This is what happens when you leave Valkyrie's cam still available. They have information. Akash Dads really needs to be careful about those information game coming in from Chemical X. If they do not take care of that information, then that means, Chemical X always, they already have this match under control.
Yeah, most certainly. And especially with the Ying going down this early, it's not going to be good for the side of Akashka Dads. The Ying off the board means that they simply do not have that element of, flash and dash that they probably wanted to execute with. And that, of course, leaves them very vulnerable going in for the execute board. Vayo, very brazen right there to try and go for a C4 drop. But Alu Tiki off the board, that's your ace gone on the tower stairs with the diffuser drop as well. As in, threatening his teammate for some reason, not sure why, as Diablo's going to bust open. Okay, I nearly fumbled both words that I wanted to say there. Excuse me for that, folks. Shots are fired both Vayo. I think he's seen 1, seen 2 towards meeting, but of course he's given away his position as his teammates are coming up as well. Jin will find John Whiff. In the meanwhile, one more down, 5v2. Could this be the last round of this engagement? Lincoln, very opportune time to go prone right there. He's being shot from all angles, up and down and left and right. He's only got so many places to go. MBK wants to go somewhere else. In the meanwhile, as is in, we'll find him. That's the Twitch gone. And there's Xylo to find Diablo. And that is going to be the finisher of this match, folks. Oh boy, what a match it was indeed. For Chemical X, not so much for Akash Dads, who unfortunately, they have, they've got a ways to go, if you will, folks. So unfortunate for Akash Daz, but this will be where we bid goodbye to them. Chemical X will go forward onto the next stage of the tournament, which is set to be very interesting for them indeed. And I have to say, I initially didn't really know much about Chemical X, but now that I've actually seen the team and see how they're performing, yeah, they've definitely come prepared. They've practiced, they know their strats, and of course, the names that were in there: MBK, Boardvale, Xylo. We've seen them before, and they are definitely good players in their own right. So it was going to be an uphill battle for Akash Kedads right from the very beginning. And unfortunately for them, it proved to be just a little too much to bear at this juncture of their team's formation. So, a little bit more work, guys, and you will definitely be better next time we see you. Hopefully, we do, because again, new teams are always a very, very good sight to see. Now, of course, before I pass it on to Baba, we've got a little bit more to go over for this game. Highlights, to be very specific. So, Baba, what are your thoughts on this game that we just had?
Well, thoughts about the match right now, Jack? I'd say, we fully get to understand what Chemical X is capable of. I mean, not to mention that the amount of buffs and nerfs that the operator did get, you do see Zofia still being brought up, but with only a slight change. Instead of bringing the M7, they've decided to bring in the LMG. That's I would say, the optimal version of it, because you do need a lot of projectiles to not only deny the ADSs but also destroy de- uh, you know destroy gadgets both at the same time, and that's exactly what Zofia is capable of. And we did get to see, especially on the side of Akash Kedads, bringing in the Ash, using that breach charges, those breach charges to destroy one of those important utilities. And yeah, talking about the ban phase, though, banning Flores really did give a lot of defenders to use their deployable shield at the good amount of time. So how about we just talk about this in highlights and try to explain on what exactly happened in these first half. Talking about Chemical X, especially Hazen, the man who not only just been the entry fragger on most of these rounds, but also recovered a one, I would say a 2v3 on round 3 basement laundry and supply room. And talking about that second round, though, an accidental team kill from Xylo eliminating MBK did give the opportunity for Akash K Dash to win their first defensive round, and that was the only round that the defenders won. Other than that, it was just Chemical X just steamrolling their way, eliminating players one by one, not even letting the defenders even clutch a 1v2 or a 1v3 situation. I mean, don't let me start about a lot of 1v2 or 1v3 situation clutches, because we've seen a lot on the side of Akash Kedaz. I mean, it was either from Amai, who was either playing as the Capcan or the Doc, or sometimes you'd see John Vips in a very difficult situation, having no smoke grenades in the late rounds, because he almost used it in the mid rounds to avoid the attackers pushing in towards the side, with a lot of pressure, with a lot of angles being opened up for the attackers, providing so much pressure for the defenders. They didn't had any other option but to challenge it, and they lost that challenge and gave Chemical X the win that they need. So a good first half from Chemical X, as they won 5 attack rounds. And talking about defense, all they did is just go full ham. I mean, you already saw how aggressive Bordwayo was. One right from the window, right from the windows of second floor kids, and another from the small tower, to eliminate most of the players. And like, they just went so aggressive that Chemical X had no intentions of stopping and making sure that they'll be able to win that round. And Akash Cadets, I mean, it was a well tried effort. The only question is, I just have to rewatch the ward and try to count on how many times I said Akash Cadets on the stream.
That will definitely be quite interesting indeed. But, folks, of course, we still have one more game for all of our viewers at home after these first two have ended. And this last one holds a little bit of a surprise that we will talk about when we get there. The Human Target versus Team Espada, a returning team for all of our viewers, I'm sure, after a short break. Stay tuned. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lenovo plus AMD The Rising in association with Vijay Sales. I'm your host, Blackjack. Joining me is my co-host, Babagusta, as we are here for the third and final on-stream match of this first day, first round of this new Rainbow Six Siege tournament. Always nice to have a Siege tournament in the region, I must say, and the two matches that we have had have been very interesting to say the least. Starting to us off today was Red Vipers taking on. Excuse me, there just had to take a little second. Taking on Why Are We? Still a very interesting name. Probably going to say that until I stop saying that name altogether. 7-1 for Red Vipers, a fairly simple win for them. Why Are We? Definitely needed a whole lot more in their teamwork before they could take on a team like Red Vipers, but the brackets are what they are. Couldn't really do much for that. Hopefully, next time we see them, they'll be a much better team. Speaking of teams that can be much better, second match of the day, Chemical X versus Akash Kedads, a 7-1 victory for Chemical X. Once again, Akash Kedads, they're a lot better already, I will say, than the other teams that we saw. Why are we? That is, and they have a lot more potential, and they feel like a team that could definitely do a lot better. They just need their mid to late rounds, their like map control. Once they have it, they need to hold it. And of course, whenever they have man advantage or they've got a good flow of trades going, they need to keep that going into the late round, because if they can't, then their execute will falter, as we saw happen time and time again. On, of course, the last match of today, we've got the Human Target versus Team Espada. Now, Espada, of course, we've seen before during the days of the Pro League, and I believe even in the Nationals, we saw them. Interesting stoppage right there from my end. We do apologize for that, but yeah. We've seen Espada before. We know mostly what they're like. They're a good team, could be better, definitely are trying to be. And on the other end is going to be the Human Target. Now, I think we've hinted at the fact that we know a little bit more about the Human Target than we're letting on, shall we say, primarily because there are a few returning faces in there, returning names and returning faces that we'll see when we get into the game. We're not going to talk about them just yet, folks. We're going to keep that, that air of mystery going along for a little bit longer, just a little bit, just a little bit. Don't worry. The match is going to go live very soon, as soon as we have the information from both sides. So, Baba, very interesting first two matches of the day. Round one is almost about to end. So far, very interesting first round, wouldn't you say?
Uh, well, I guess because the first match talking
The
about Red
first match
Viper,
definitely leaves us
Red
with.
Vipers and why
Hmm.
are we? I mean, they did made a well good effort on map clubhouse. I'm not gonna lie about it. Where are we? Even though with the man disadvantage, most of the time you would expect a flawless win like a 7-0, but at least winning one defensive round, even with that man count disadvantage, is a huge thing and not an easy way to do it. It's really not that easy clutching out a 4v5 situation, and the same thing can be said to Akash K dads. And yet again, I have to check the stream and figure out how many times I said it. Talking about the defenders, though, I do have to admit the way how they were playing. I mean, most of the time I don't see them use pixel angles. They were just mainly using utilities at the early rounds. We don't see any Kai nor the bandit being brought out, especially on the defensive side. It was just no roamers. It was just a fully fledged turtle hold. And talking about the attackers phase, they didn't give a they did not care about any default camps, nor they worried about the val camps itself. Maybe if they droned out properly well in the prep phase, place some drones which could have helped them out in the site, things would have been a bit different for the defenders. But in the end, we will see Chemical X using those utilities into action, using those information to get one step ahead and eliminate players one of the time. And I'd say that the second match, it was interesting because even though it was just 7-1, you'd see a lot of changes, adaptations coming in from Akash Kedads. Although the meta, although the operator picks were still the same, bringing in Smoke was a huge play. I mean, we didn't get to see him, use the shotgun a lot in close range. It would have been better to, to try to engage in close quarter combat more than using the SMG 11 to try to engage them in long range, because Smoke is an expert when it comes to, holding angles and basically using those utilities to make sure that the attackers wouldn't get to the site as fast as possible. And you master the SMG 11's recoil, who knows, you might be a god at it. But there is a lot of players who still prefers to play smoke and mute. But yeah, I know I've been talking a lot of these two matches apparently, but the third match, which is going to be the human target versus Espada, is again going to be an interesting one, because last time I remember, I believe this was in the TC League way back when Team Espada was trying to qualify for Division 3. They haven't qualified a single one, Jack. Do you remember that? Not a single one. They tried so hard, and in the end, they always either go out at the finals or at the quarterfinals and not even get a chance to be on Division 3.
Well, it is what it is, as they say. And like we've talked about many times before, not every team can make it as far as they, wanted to. Realistically speaking, it just isn't possible, right? Somebody has to lose at the end of the day. Espada gave it their all, but unfortunately, they were not quite able to make it into Div 3 back in the days of the Pro League. But, maybe this time around they could go forward. Right now, of course, we're in the very first round of this entire tournament. Maybe they could make their way to round 3, round 4, maybe even the quarterfinals, should their performance be good enough. It's been a while since we've seen them, I will admit, so they could have improved dramatically since then. We will only know when we see them, folks. So, of course, map information has just been given to us. It is Villa that we will be going to, with the human target on defense first. Interesting choice right there. Of course, human target going on defense first. Excuse me out there. The human defense. Maybe that could be a new team. I'm not sure. But the human targets going on defense first, of course, makes perfect sense, because it's Villa at the end of the day. One of the most defender-sided maps of the entire roster that we have for Rainbow Six. So always a nice decision to go defense first. But Espada, they could have something up their sleeves. So, Baba, of course, we've seen these things before, all things considered. I mean, we've seen Espada before. Our viewers might not have seen the human targets before, but we've seen them before. Again, alluding to the fact that we know a little bit more than we're letting on. What do you think? Was the decision a good one, considering the map is Villa?
Will I or will I not? That is the question, Jack. And talking about that map, though, there is a lot of chance, a lot of I'd say a lot of impact grenades might come in play, because most of the walls being reinforced have high likely a chance to disable any, attackers hard breach utilities, thermite exothermic charge, the Hibana Siscaros pellets. The only difference is that I need to see whether team the human target has what it takes to master the roam game. Now, talking about roam game, especially the last previous two, matches that we did get to witness, why are we again a turtle hold, and talking about Akash Kedads on the side of defense in map Oregon, it was still the same. Will we see the same thing happening on the third match, being the map Villa, is the biggest concern for me. Because if that happens, then expect Espada just storming their way, cornering each and every site that they see. I mean, expect a lot of grenades being thrown out, walls being opened up, and just pushing towards the side and going for the plant. So that's exactly what I'd going to expect from Team Espada. It's just going to be a simple push, and then they'll just simply be on their way to get those win rounds. Unless and until if human target has you know figure out a way to use their C4s, maybe those smoke grenades, to try to stall for some time. Maybe we might see human target being a lot of problems for Espada.
That we most certainly could. I think the human targets have a good chance against Espada. I'm not gonna lie here. they definitely seem like they could take them out, even if I were to go that far. But of course, there's a lot more that goes into any given game than just getting kills and opening walls and all of that. There is communication, there's coordination, there's utility usage and burn, and denial. Let us not forget, denial is such a huge part of Rainbow Six today. Utility denial, information denial, area denial. It's just so many things need to be denied at the end of the day. I'm surprised nobody has made a denied joke out of that just yet. Maybe they have. Maybe I just missed it. All things considered, it's been quite a breezy last few months, I should say. A lot of it's a haze. Given the current situation, I think a lot of our viewers can sympathize with that one. But yeah, it should be all in all a very very interesting game from both sides, and I'm definitely looking forward to see how the human targets go about playing their match here today versus, of course, Espada. Again, a team we've seen before, a team that we've known before. Even if it were for their misfortunes, how will they fare today? I think that is a question we all want answered in this upcoming upcoming game.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Sorry, that was a little abrupt. Sorry about that.
yeah, I know, no, no. It's just that there is. I mean, it's just the three team. I mean, the three matches that we're going to expect. I believe there are some certain matches which are going offline. We
Hmm.
still need to think about Monkey Hunters. I believe they're still in the tournament. I believe. I mean, there is a lot of teams in which we still need to know what's going to happen. But for now, the only three matches that we do, that we did get to stream was none other than Red Vipers and YRV, Chemical X, Akash Dads, and Espada versus the Human Targets. It is, yeah, Villa is quite, I would say, a different map other than other than the other maps that we did get to see, because sometimes it is not only just it brings more of a competitive aspect to it, but it also has a lot of Easter eggs because Ubisoft likes to place more of those Easter eggs on certain amount of maps, I believe. Don't you think, Jack? And talking about those Easter eggs, Villa, it brings a lot of memories.
That it does. That it most certainly does. I mean, good memories. I think we should probably clarify that for all of our viewers at home. Good memories, all things considered. Villa itself is actually a beacon of good memories for myself when it comes to Rainbow Six. For me personally, Siege really was at its peak at that time.
Hmm.
Parabellum. It was just such a great time. I mean, of course, Lion was still a thing during that season. Let us not forget. But when Lion wasn't being played for whatever reason, you would rarely see a match without him. But all things considered, bringing the right counters and with Lion not being involved, it was probably one of the best seasons of Siege. And since then, it's always been good, but never quite as good as Parabellum. But of course, we can have more about that right now, in fact, in the match that is live, folks, on your screens right here. Team Espada versus the Human Targets. And I believe that you can see from the chat right here, right now, we have on the side of the Human Targets, Foxy. That is correct. Our former, our co-caster from back in the day, Sedulous, our admin from back in the day, and a couple of other names in there that will always be, nice to see. We'll get to that when we do, but an interesting ban phase right here from both sides. No bans on both attacker slots right here, as it's quite the interesting way to go about a competitive match of Rainbow Six, I will say. But huh,
I
that's
mean,
that's that's an interesting use of the ban slot,
I mean,
seeing
it's
as
it's still considered as a no ban, so
yeah, because Thunderbird isn't even allowed in competitive seats. So,
yes.
all right, okay, you
Mhm.
do you guys. Team Espada is the one who banned that one at that too. The Human Tigers, of course, have the final ban of the night, and they will decide not to ban any operators from the going roster. And that, of course, is going to lead us, excuse me, into the very first round of this match on Villa between Team Espada and the Human Targets. Round one will be underway. And before it is, let us introduce both the sides that are here in the lobby for us today. From the side of Espada, we've got Stoneheart, LOL, Shane, excuse me, Ninja Freak, who's seeing his return here. All right, interesting. And Akashi. And from the side of the Human Targets, we've got Sedula, Shanko, Pakora Man, Foxtrot, and Kingu. I believe a lot of our viewers will remember those names. Shanko, for those confused, is in fact Eisen. That's his account name these days. So yeah, it's interesting to see him bring out the Ella right there. Six pick from Foxy over there out into the Wamai as the site of choice is second floor Aviator Games Room. And with that, I have kept the man from the mic long enough. Baba Gusta, take it away.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
What a good match, don't you think, Jack? Third match, Team Espada versus Human Targets on map Villa. The first site will be on second floor AVG, and we all know Foxy will bring in the famous Wamai. Those gadgets
Attackers
will
have
help
located
him
a bomb.
to catch some small and important, you know, explosive ordnance coming in from the attack, as I'd like to call it. And talking about explosive ordnance, we will see Stoneheart bringing in the Zofia. Maybe the LMG Zofia will come
10
in play.
seconds
Of
left.
course, why not? Because the M7, it's a difficult gun to handle that recoil
5
at this
seconds to
moment.
go.
But in the end, we will see some interesting
Attackers'
placements
objective
of
is to
deployable
defuse the
shields
bomb.
coming in from Tachanka, aka Sedulus. Bringing him the Tachanka, the LMG, in which we did get to hear about those buffs, the explosive, the explosive of opening up breached walls is now easier. And yeah, that's actually pretty much about it. I believe the Shumika's launches place has been a trap as well, but let's just focus on the match for now as we see Shanko get the first kill, taking out Akashi. That's the Iana taken care of, and Pakara Man, we will see him place his deployable shield right in towards AVG. And now we will see one of the players already doing the roam game. That would be Kingo right in towards the living room, and we see the players on the side of Team Espada slowly making their way in towards the study. Now, how will they get in the building and get those important kills? Well, now we know. We will see Kingu take out Stoneheart yet again. That's 2 kills on the side of the Human Targets. And in Shane, we'll try to make sure he'll be able to find some important kills. And there you go. Shanko and Settle is taken care of on the side of Inshane. And with it, it is a 3v3 equalizer.
A very interesting 3v3 equalizer at that, as Lowell's going to take a bit of damage, but he will find Foxtrot instead. One more down. That's the Wamai of the board. As Pakona Man going for the jiggle peaks inside a vault. Has to be careful, mind you. Will he find Shane? No, not quite, but doesn't do any damage back to him either. 3v2 as Ninja Freak pushes into sight through the smoke. Lol is going to go in as well. So is Shane. Diffuser in hand. Plant is going off. Can Pakona Man stop this? No, neither can he nor Kingu, as both will fall to the hands of the attackers, as the first round will go the way of Team Espada. Fairly, close, all things considered, given the fact that the Human Targets managed to take the first couple of kills. And not bad kills either, but unfortunately, they just weren't enough. Their late round was a little bit lackluster, if you will. But then again, it could just be first round jitters, and they could just get back on their feet nice and quickly and find themselves going in to advantage potentially in rounds 3, 4, maybe even 5.
Well, you're right about that, Jack. And talking about the second round, though, it will be the same yet again. Second floor
Attackers need to locate
AVG.
and defuse
This
bombs.
time, we will see some changes from the OpEx on the side of the human target. Sedulus bringing in the Melusi, and we will see Kingu bringing in the Mozi this time. No legions, no legion goo mines, but instead we will see some trap operators being brought up. I mean, Eisen will still bring in the Ella's Grismuth mine. And also we will see Pakora Man bringing in the pulse, the cardiac sensor, which gives a good amount of information via his via the heartbeat, so that he'll be able to give some vital information. But
10 seconds to insertion.
when he equips
Attackers
the
have
cardiac
located a bomb.
sensor, he's more likely to be
seconds
vulnerable
remaining.
unless and until if he doesn't get that information early. So, talking about the
are
action
moving to
phase
defuse
coming
the
in
bomb.
play, we will see Ninja Freak bringing in the Amaru this time. And I believe an aggressive play might be in angle. No, wait a
Defender
minute. I
exposed.
believe we will
Wait.
see a knife game coming in from the human targets
Oh, okay
instead.
then.
All right, that's interesting.
Huh.
And I believe that with the Nomads air jabs, I believe they will conduct their start.
Defender
So
is
I guess I will
exposed.
leave it to you.
Oh,
No, actually, they're going to start it off
Attackers
oh dear.
immediately. Inshane gets one, Lol gets another, Foxtrot comes in to take out Lol, and now it's a 4v3. Inshane already being in big trouble. All three of them rushing in to try to take out Inshane, but
Oh
wait a minute, we'll see
no.
Akashi and Stoneheart to come in and take out both of those players. And looks like the only player left was Pakora Man. But in the end, we will see Ninja Freak eliminate the last player. And with it, we will see Team Espada win their second round on second floor AVG without a problem. I mean, for a moment there, it was, I mean, for a brief second, I saw three of the players coming into knife one guy, and my mind was like, oh, yes, three players. He's just immediately pushing in, saying, uh, I. It's just a meme at this point. It's just an absolute meme.
I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I think we can all just agree on that, folks. Had to take a temporary pause because Foxtrot found himself disconnected from the game. He is back with the Warden pick, very interestingly. So, Kingo will take the sixth pick out of the Legion into the Caveira. Another interesting pick, I should say. Ninja Freak with the Amaru as well. Everyone else, of course, playing operators you've come to expect from this sort of competitive stage,
Attackers need to
if you
locate
will.
and defuse
But
bombs.
yeah, it's always nice to see some teams just having fun. You know, at the end of the day, playing competitive, it's always nice. It's always good to see teams going at it, sweating hard, getting their hard work to come to fruition and all that. But you also have to try and have fun in the meanwhile, because if you don't, well, you know, things can get a little stale a little too quickly. Find ways to have fun in your own way. Everybody's unique in that regard when it comes to playing this game, and that's what makes this game so, you know, so good, and what's made it so long lasting is that there's
10
just so
seconds
many
to go.
ways to
Bomb
have fun with
located
it
by
that
attackers.
that don't necessarily involve shooting
seconds
and
left.
winning rounds constantly. Now, of course, round three will see us go back to a second for AVG once
Attackers
again
are moving
from
to
the side of
defuse
the
a
human
bomb.
targets. Not really unexpected, if you will, because seeing the way they are going about their business, yeah, I would have expected this as well. Interestingly enough, LOL just about dodging a spawn peek from Pakora Man, I believe that was. The Vigil trying to get an early pick. Not going to get that just yet, as round three is underway.
Oh boy, round 3, and this time with Team Espada having 2 attack leads. Can they do it once more? And talking about Pakora Man, the man who was supposed to be roaming, will be back to the site instead. I believe on Games Room, whereas we will see Stoneheart using Argus cams to provide good amount of information right towards the study room. Prefaz will come in from Ankur, won't be able to find one this time. He will reload the gun and decides to go in for a drone works to give them proper information. Now Kingu, he needs to fall back to the site because all 5 players are in that particular place, and Foxtrot is actually thinking of going in for that pre-fire. It's not a good idea to be pre-firing knowing that there's already 3 players who is still trying to gain information and decides to go in for that execute. All they need is to just hold their ground. Stoneheart, yet again, thinking of using the Argus cams to go through to give information from the aviator room. Instead, he did not. But looks like Akashi is actually thinking of going in for the engage again. Foxtrot might be able to find one, but no,
Oh,
Akashi
no.
comes in to disable one as LOL comes in to take out Shanko, and with it, the entire control of study room and main stairs are in the hands of Team Espada. And talking about the human targets, not looking too well in their favor. Stoneheart comes in with an aggressive push, cannot get the kill from Vigil, but he will
What?
get it with the USP. Getting us a second, no, it does not. A 4v1 and a 4v0 will come in with Ninja Freak claiming the final kill. The side of human targets winning the second floor AVG. 3-0 will be the score line as we proceed to round 4.
Oh boy, that's a play and a half from the side of Team Espada. And I have to say, you know, Sam Fisher with the USP suppressed, always good to have that gun in hand. But then I believe it was the hip fire that connected onto Pakora Man's head, not even an ADS shot. Oh, that would have hurt for the Vigil right there. Unfortunate, as the site will be changed to first floor living room and Library from the side of the defense. A very very interesting sight, not one that we get to see too often, all things considered, because when it comes
Defenders,
to first
protect your
floor,
bombs from being
kitchen,
defused by
excuse me, right there,
attackers.
kitchen and dining is just such a dominant site on the first floor that you never really see sites, the other side of first floor, that is, which is living room and library. But here we are from the side of the human targets. We've decided to come to this part of the map. I'm interested to see if they have any particular, setups or strategies for us. They definitely got the well, they've got a very, very vibe-friendly Oryx. He's just chilling right there with the drone. So is Settlers, of course. Just making sure that everyone's having a good time. That's Akashi's drone as well, the Yana. So always nice to see that. Now, what we're seeing here is a very open floor plan from the side of the human targets, because not a lot of reinforcements and a lot of rotations and lines of sight that they're trying to use for themselves. As in the meanwhile, Team Espada have busted out the Lion this round and are looking to make a quick take or two for themselves. Now, whether or not that'll work, of course, is up for debate as round 4 continues on. Pakora Man with the Spas in hand. Good shotgun, decent range. You gotta be careful of where he uses it though, because this long corridor, not the best place to do so, but the buck is gonna fall right into his arms as Kingo will find one more. Kingo finds another. Akashi goes down, and then he gets retraded to by Inshane as Settlers comes in. So does Pakora Man. What a quick cleanup from the side of the defense. There was one kill after another from the side of the human targets. Looks like going to a library helped them out with just confusing Espada on how to go about that, and then using the shotguns, closing the gap, and shredding them to oblivion. We'll see the human targets take their first round.
Well, all it needs is a bit of unpredictability from the human targets to confuse Team Espada, and it did work out. Oryx with the Spas, not only getting not only just getting one kill, but also we did get to see the other teams eliminating the other players on the side
Attackers need to
of the
locate and
attackers.
defuse
So
bombs.
we will see the human targets win their first defensive round on first floor time. First floor living and library. This time we'll see them defending in dining/kitchen. Now again, we will see Kingu bring in the Vigil, and I believe that is a Boss G being brought up here. Yeah, I believe that is. It is the Boss G ACOG. The only question is, will he get those kills? I mean, it's always a it's always amazing to see a Boss G ACOG getting a long range kill, knowing that it's a shotgun, and somehow it would travel from 15 to 30 seconds.
Bomb located by
It did
attackers.
work out well. I believe
5
that's
seconds to go.
Foxtrot using the he's just using the
Attacker's
gadget
objective
to
is to
stun
defuse the
himself.
bomb.
Maybe he's trying to use it to increase the difficulty a bit, or maybe he's trying to use it as his advantage. I mean, who knows? Maybe it might work out well in his favor. Yeah, there you go. Foxtrot using his concussions yet again with the Supernova shotgun in hand. The question is, will he get those kills right towards the window is the biggest problem. Now,
Bomb
I
located
just
by
realized that everyone has a shotgun in hand. But talking about that
Oh,
shotgun,
boy.
though, LOL comes in with his shotgun, taking out Pakora Man. Already chaos starts to brew in on the side of these two teams. There comes Kingu with the SMG-12. We'll be able to get the confirmation though, but can he get the other? He is trying to contest. Hip fires it, but will fail in the hands of Ninja Freak. And with it, Shanko needs to find this last player. And so does Cedulus though. And looks like Ninja Freak made a decision to just hold back and wait for them to make the play. Although the hatch gets open, Shanko might be able to see the leg. No, he does not. He doesn't know that. Maybe if Ninja Freak just stays still and not able to find
there we go.
anything, will he get
No,
it? No, he
not
does
like that,
not.
no!
Ninja Freak comes in with the knife. And looks like Cedulus will be the last man standing. What is going on? There is a lot of problems happening in between the two teams, and we just accidentally switched on to what exactly happening. Yep, there you go. 1v1. Ninja Freak and Cedulus. Still a lot of tensions brewing in. Will we see the human targets win it out, or will Espada win it out? Brings out the bailiff, but no, Ninja Freak comes in with the FMG. and eliminates the Maestro in hand, giving Team Espada the win on round 5. Actually, round 5. Yeah, round 5, first floor dining and kitchen. So confusing and also very confusing as the way how Eisen went in for that knife and I was
uh,
wow, it's just amazing.
quite, I should say. Oh, that did not go to plan at all. Dining kitchen will go the way of Team Espada, folks, and that is, yeah, that's another round in the favor of Espada. I have to say, I expected Shanko to get that knife.
Attackers need to
His
locate and
name
defuse as many bombs as
has,
they can.
one of the alternative words for knife related terminology, right? But I guess not. He's gonna get knifed himself by a very stationary ninja. Interestingly enough, everybody was, well, most people were using shotguns. Of course, we had a blitz of all people in a shotgun round, but I digress. Blitz is always sometimes, excuse me, a decent operator to have, and not so much to go up against. He's quite annoying in that regard. But regardless, the human targets, they're just vibing, chilling, having fun. Team Espada as well, vibing and having fun and winning along the way. I think it's a win-win for both sides, at least if I were to ask the human targets that would be probably what they say. Not entirely sure about that one. Don't quote me on that, folks. But round 6 will see us in a 4-1 situation in favor of Team Espada, firmly in the lead. Can they seal the deal quickly, or are we in for a potential comeback?
Well, that's the question we're about to answer for in round 6, because this is the last round where after we see the role swap between these two teams, and I believe the attackers on the side of Team Espada has made a decision to push in towards Foundry. Not quite sure if it's a good idea though, because Cedilus on the other hand is right
Attackers
outside that
located a bomb.
window as he was trying to get a kill, but Inshane comes in to take out Kingu right from that window into towards Study. Not looking too good, but Pakora, man! Ooh, what a shot though! What a shot! He's gonna take out a Katsuki, but can he get the second? No, it is not. Inshane will come in to shut down the Melusi, putting in a 4v3. So low on HP as Inshane accidentally TKs his teammate, but in the end we will see Stoneheart gets 2 kills, second Foxtrot and Cedilus. With it, Eisen is the last man standing. I believe he has the F412 in hand. All he needs is just close range combat, in which he does. Takes out Stoneheart. A good start for him as Inshane decides to go in for a pro. Not a good idea to be doing that, Inshane. You're gonna give Eisen the kill that he need, and puts him in a 1v1. There is high likely a chance where Eisen might be able to win this fight, knowing that it is a 1v3, but so does Ankur though. The only difference is that the Ace has the good weapon, the AK-12, very good in long range, but he has no idea on where Eisen's location is. If he gets that big drop, whips out the pistol though, can he get the kill? Ankur needs to be careful. He hears the footstep. He knows exactly where he is. Not at the great time. He misses a lot of shots. He whips out the foot.
What is happening?
Yes, he does.
No, there's no time though.
No.
No time. What was that battle between between the last two? Okay, I have to take a.
Talk about the battle of panics, man. I mean, it's just,
Oh boy.
it's on the roof.
Yes. Yes.
Through the roof,
Yes.
man. I'm not gonna lie.
Now,
Through
all
the
right,
roof.
all right. I can already tell that people in chat are probably thinking like I'm enjoying this a little too much. See, the folks over at the human excuse me, the folks over at the human targets, right? Shanko, Settlers, Pakora Man, Foxtrot. I play with them. I'm friends with them. I play with them, and I know what they are generally like. So I know when they're mostly vibing, trying to have fun, and as Lol says, built different, right? And I can tell which is which with them. And I know for a fact that Chanko, oh man, he's enjoying this. All of them are enjoying this a lot. I hope it's the same for Team Espada. I hope they're enjoying this as well. Interestingly enough, Okay, I was about to say, like, why are they going all down below? I guess we found out, and Shane probably said something that Ninja Freak didn't particularly
No,
like,
it's
and
actually, Jack, it was because of the
oh, right. I was too caught up in having fun myself. I do apologize for that.
yeah,
But,
I mean, it's all right. I mean, the way how the previous round went,
Indeed has
even I
been
was
done.
confused. I mean, rips out the effort well,
Attackers are moving out to
while
locate a bomb
Ankur
and defuse
just
it.
what?
uh,
Huh?
Attackers bomb diffuser has been
This is
dropped.
it's a lot to take.
it definitely is. There
Boy.
goes Pagoda Man because of
recovered their
a
diffuser.
beautiful use of the Clash Shield, but Ninja Freak isn't exactly too happy about it at the same time. Can he get a second one though? He's gonna peek out. He's gonna get one actually. That's Kingo gone, but the retrade will come in from Shanko with the LMG in hand. That's what you use the LMG for. Foxtrot finds another. Akashi goes down as it's now a 3v2.
3v2, and talking about Shanko is just using so many utilities to try to flush out the clash. Almost sees the character decides to go in for that pre-fire, but he's gonna give away his position, and you're
don't
going to
stop
give Ankur
shooting,
the kill. Putting it in a 2v2. Stoneheart and Ankur, the only two players left on the side of the, on the side of Espada, whereas Foxtrot is just
Bomb located
pushing
by
in to
attackers.
try to eliminate Ankur. The only thing he can do is just try to melee the clash and try to get in for that kill. Foxtrot needs to be aware of the main stairs in which one of the players have got it under control, and that is Cedulus taking out Stoneheart. And looks at Ankur will be the last man standing. The only thing he can do is just use his SMG or maybe try to use the shield to try to shock him for a total of 5 to 6 seconds. Foxtrot whips out the shotgun in hand, but will it work out though? A lot of tension, a lot of pressure. One
Just
shot,
one.
and he gets the
He
second.
just
No, it
needs
does
one.
not. Whips
No.
back. He's gets
Oh.
a kill. 1-1. But Cedulus comes in at the right time to take out LOL. And looks like the human target is still in the game, boys. No matter how many times Ninja Freak does get that early kill, almost a double kill. Not even to mention that. LOL, such a wonderful effort with the clash, going for that turtle back. And also, giving a huge homage to our famous content creator, Bikini Bodhi. So, man, that was amazing, man. Not gonna lie. As we proceed to round 8, the site will be on second floor AVG, with Team Espada being in the lead 5-2.
Oh boy. We always talk about how good competitive Rainbow Six games come from both teams clashing head to head, locking horns, and going at it all in all. This is also a way to have fun with competitive Rainbow Six. Just when
Attackers
in
need to
a
locate and
situation where
defuse
you're
bombs.
thinking, where you're mostly here to have vibe and have fun, just let loose. You know what I mean? Just let loose. That's what the Human Targets is doing. That's why you're seeing some very questionable peaks and decisions
Attackers
being
have
made,
located a bomb.
but at the same time, they're really, I'm sure, if we were to be in their VC right now, it would just
Bomb
be
located by
laughter
attackers.
and some call outs being given. That's what I'm thinking is what's going on there. Espada as well, I think they're mostly vibing with, just going with the flow of the game and giving themselves a bit of a chance to win it at the same time.
10 seconds
5-2.
remaining.
Not a bad situation to be in, all things considered. They are actually
5 seconds to insertion.
they've got a hefty lead. They can afford to let
Attackers
loose a
objective
couple of
is to defuse the
rounds,
bomb.
let their hair down for a bit, have some fun, then win it out for themselves. That's probably what they're doing right now. Ninja Freak contemplating the choices that have led him to this moment. Just we saw some movement there though. Yeah, there we go. He's back. He's ready. He's ready for some action right now as round 8 is underway.
Well, looks like Akashi. I always get confused with Akatsuki, but hey, already a fight being happening right from the main entrance. But Koraman knives out Stoneheart right from the main entrance. Well, Kingo starts to be in the charge. Akashi tries to make amends, taking out Koraman, but it's too late. Because Kingo is right then and there, right from the main stage to eliminate one more. And looks like Team Espada is starting to have a lot of problems. The entire main stage control is in the hands of the human target. And now, all they have to do is just get those kills. But Ninja Freak is still alive, eliminating Cedulus. A huge pre-fire comes in, but it does not work out well for Kingu, because Ninja Freak comes in yet again to take out Foxtrot. The 3v2 will come in on the side of the attackers. Will they recover? Or will we see a Ninja Freak wreck Havoc, there is a lot to talk about from the human targets, although they are being very free about it. The only thing that they can do is try to get those kills as best as possible, and that too, going up against Clash is definitely not a good idea. Although he'll be able to flash, but he needs to get back at the right time. No, it does not. Ankur comes in to take out Kingo, and whether the last player will be none other than Aizen himself. So low on HP, he has the claymores. What will he do in a situation like this, Jack? Do you really think that, Aizen can...
Nope.
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 Nope. He does not.
Yeah, he does not.
Ah.
Nope.
Nope.
Not happening.
Not happening. Not a single bit. Although, I would say a well-tried effort from Aizen. I mean, he did what he could to use the utilities to try to get those kills, but unfortunately, with him having so low on HP, he couldn't do anything about it. And with it, we will see Team Esparta on match point 6-2. Will we see Team Esparta end this once and for all, or will we see the human targets come back?
Well, the chances of a comeback are low, but they're never zero. And you know what they say, given enough time, anything with a non-zero chance of happening will happen. So is this one of those moments where a comeback from 2-6 to 6-6 is on the cards? Maybe, just maybe. Who
Defenders,
knows?
protect your
Maybe
bombs
the
from being
Blackbeard
defused
comes
by
into play for
attackers.
Pagoda Man for a clutch. Maybe the Finca gives them the boost that they need to win this game. We'll see. As next round, round 9, finds us with a little bit of an interesting decision here from Team Espada. They are preparing first floor kitchen dining as if it were the site itself. You can see the reinforcements, the standard reinforcements going off towards the places that you would expect them to be, right? You have the pantry wall reinforced, pantry stairs wall, excuse me. You have that single
10 seconds
reinforcement
left.
facing the China room. You've got the reinforcements in Memorial room. It's all
5
there.
seconds remaining.
And they are very much
Bomb
willing to
located by
not
attackers.
let, but unfortunately it's
Attackers are
not going to
heading
be.
out to
They
defuse the
wanted to do that, alternate bomb site bait, but unfortunately that will not be the case because the human targets found the actual location of the bomb. Stoneheart, can he get it spawn peek here? He will! Foxtrot, gotta be careful of the window that we named after you, my friend. Come on! It was on stream too that he told me that he likes to call it Fox Window, and I've been calling it Fox Window ever since. Don't make me take it back, my guy. As the drone will be taken out, but it has spotted Dr. Stoneheart just as of now. As he will try to go for the peak. Can he get the ash? He's going to swing wide, and he will. Oh, one tap. And that will be one more of the board.
Oh boy, it's 2 kills from Stoneheart, and now the human targets is in big trouble yet again. And talking about Foxtrot though, he was actually happy getting spawn peek right from that Fox window. Not gonna lie.
That's a first. That's a first, I'll tell you.
I mean that's the first. He just appreciates, getting spawn peek because it's in a game of Siege, the only thing that we did the most was spawn peeks. So, yeah, now talking about the match in hand, though, we haven't seen Esparta lose a single player, and the human targets are slowly making their way in towards the side. And now, since they knew that the site is in second floor trophy, they have to worry about how to eliminate the players right from below, because they have to worry about the C4s. You have Stoneheart. Oh boy, Pagoda Man really needs to be careful though, because one of his shield has been taken care of. He needs to re-equip the shield, throws out the flashbangs to make sure that he'll be able to disable the enemy's gate. He will decide to push aggressively. He needs to check it out on Astronomy, which he does not, but Kingo comes in to take out Insane. Puts it in a 4v3. The human targets are still alive. Kingo playing towards Astronomy, and a beautiful shot from the DMR to take out Akashi. And looks like Aizen has decided to go in for the plan, a default plan that is right into towards Saturated. All they have to do is to hold their ground for a total of 40 seconds. Then that means the human targets will be able to win that round. The C4 will come in from Stoneheart. He won't be able to detonate it at the right time because he doesn't have any information on that specific place yet. All he's waiting right now is the information, but I don't think going for information is a good idea. Kingo comes in with the secondary pistol to take out Ninja Freak, and with it, the last player will be none other than Stoneheart. He needs to get this ace, or else he won't be able to win it. The pistol comes in with the hip fire, and Kingo comes in to eliminate the final player. And with it, we will see the human targets win round 9, second floor statuary room and trophy room, amidst Stoneheart making such impressive early picks, eliminating both of the players on the side of the human target. In the end, we will see the attackers win this round.
Oh man, that was quite the round indeed from the side of the human targets. They took it back for themselves very, very well, all things considered. And yeah, after those first kills, right, just like you said, Baba, after Foxy and another one got completely destroyed early round. The fact that they managed to bring it back was absolutely beautiful. Although I have to say, those one taps were just something else from Stoneheart. That first kill, of
Attackers need
course,
to
wasn't a one
locate and
tap, not
defuse bombs.
necessarily, but the second one onto the Ash, ooh, beautiful, beautiful. You love to see it. Well, looks like we are headed back for round 10 onto second floor statuary. But once again, the site preparation is on first floor. Looks like, oh, look at that. Akashi's gone still on what is generally a default spawn point for the defenders as well. They're really trying to sell the idea that this is the true site. This is where they've gone. And I'm fairly certain that it shouldn't work. The human targets probably know that the
5
site's a
seconds
bot,
left
right?
before
Because
insertion.
no way would they fall for it, knowing that they tried it in the
Attackers must
previous
locate
round.
and defuse a
Although,
bomb.
again, having played with these folks regularly, I'm not entirely too sure about their skills of deduction, but let's not necessarily talk about that as a. Oh, what was that? What was Ninja Freak laying in? That was quite something there, wasn't it?
Ah, well, life is full of surprises. I'm not gonna lie about that. We're about to see a first gunfight happening here. It's going to be Stoneheart going up against Kingu. The question is who's going to be able to win it? No, the Ash will decide to fall back, or does he though? A lot of questions, but no. If he tries to, melee that window, yep, there you go. Stoneheart needs to be careful. Goes for the peek. He has to fall back now because if he stays in there and goes for that re-peek, then he is sure to die in the hands of Kingu. So it would be best to save bodies rather than giving the early peeks to the attackers instead. Now Sedulous though is already right in towards below. Getting the kill though, it will be Kingu taking out Akashi this time. The Aruni taken care of, whereas Stoneheart really needs to be careful though. The MPX still doesn't get any kill, whips out the Deagle. But
Attackers have
Foxtrot
located
is
a
already in
bomb.
towards living room. He thinks that the site is in first floor.
Oh, no,
It's a bait, but still we will
No,
see
he's
Kingu
the
get
one with the
another
diffuser
kill.
too.
And Shane gets a pistol kill though, taking out
Oh.
Sedulous as Kingu starts to pop off. Triple kill for him, taking out a LOL. And looks like the only two players left is Shane and Ninja Freak, who thought of baiting for the side, but instead
Attackers are
Foxtrot
activating the
will know
diffuser.
what exactly is happening, and they'll be able to force themselves into a post plant. Will he see the boss GA get the kill? Pakora Man needs to line the shots. Will he get it? Yes, he does!
Let's
The
go!
boss- let's go. The boss GA will take out Shane, and with it Ninja Freak will be the last man standing. With the MP5, will be able to take out Aizen, bring himself in a 1v2. A clutch can happen, but he needs to do this fast because he only has 20 seconds left. Now Foxtrot, he's also equipped with the secondary shotgun. 75 damage. But it needs to be as close as possible. Now Ninja Freak will slowly start to make his way right from the astronomy. The hip fire will come in from Pakora Man. All he needs to do is to get one single kill. Since the body goes for that peek once again, doesn't land the shot yet. But Foxy comes in with an aggressive peek. Not a good idea. But in the end, we will see Ninja Freak get that kill. But in the end, we will see human targets win round 9. Actually, round 10. Second floor statuary room and trophy. 6-4. 2 more rounds for human targets to put this match on overtime. Will it happen? Will it not? We're about to find out in round 11.
Oh boy, that is certainly quite the interesting last couple of rounds we've had. Wouldn't we all agree, folks? 6-4. Team Espada, 1 round away from winning, but the human targets have put up quite the show indeed. 2 rounds, we've had a bit of a bait attempt from Espada's side, trying to make their opponents think that the site is first floor dining kitchen, when in reality it was second
Attackers
floor.
need to locate
And the
and
whole
defuse
time,
as many bombs as they
it's
can.
one of those moments in the Scooby-Doo show, right? They would take off the mask off of the supposed ghost or monster or whatever, and it's like the actual culprit was this, a human or some sort of very, very convincing machine. I'm not sure how they got the machines that convincing in those days, but I think that that question is best
Attackers
left
have located a
unanswered.
bomb.
Right now, of course, the question that we need answers for is what is going on with Team Espada?
10
Because
seconds left.
they've been on match point for the last what 2-3 rounds
5
now,
seconds to go.
and yeah, and the human targets, they are well on
Attackers are
track
heading out to defuse
for
the bomb.
potential overtime.
Attackers drop
Are we
the
going to see it
diffuser.
on the very first day of the tournament? I sure hope so. But, let's not get our hopes up too hard as a run out has happened from the closet window. But King, of course, more than cautious. He's going to be
Attackers have recovered
just
their
fine
diffuser.
for the time being as round 11 kicks off.
Round 11, the moment of truth, whether we see a Team Espada gets
Oh.
one. Well, I don't think so, because Kingo comes into the early kill yet again, taking out Stoneheart. Whereas Ankur will decide to do the same strategy again, bringing in the clash and providing a lot of irritation right outside the study room. But here comes Ninja Freak taking out Pakora Man, but Kingo is still alive, but not for long, as the as Akashi comes in to take out one. Ooh, what a shot there from Ninja Freak, eliminating one more, and that is Shanko taken care of. With Ninja Freak still being alive and Foxtrot bringing in the Ying, will use Candelas to try to blind one of the players. Unfortunately, he won't be able to blind one as of now. Team on the side of human targets really needs to be careful though, because if they miss one single shot, Settlerless needs to be careful. Guys should go in early for the propel, but no, he doesn't. Akashi will be able to win that gunfight, taking out Settlerless, and so does Foxtrot, eliminating the main threat to the problem. That would be Ninja Freak, but at what cost? He is all by himself. He needs to find two players. That would be Ankur
Attackers
and
recovered the
Akashi,
diffuser.
in which Akashi is so low on HP, all it needs for Foxtrot is to survive the gunfight of the Mozzie so that he could go and contest against the Clash 1v1. Not a very difficult spot though for Foxtrot, as he uses one of the Candelas. That is the only Candelas that he has though. He finds the Mozzie peak. No, it does not. He will lose that gunfight with
Nice
the Pete and
try.
Roni. And Foxtrot goes down, and so does the entire team on the side of human targets, giving Team Espada the win on map Villa 7-4. A very good attempt from human targets, although there was some questionable plays from some previous round. But unfortunately for them, it is time for them to say goodbyes and congratulate Team Espada, because they'll be able to proceed to the next phase.
Most certainly. A great match from both sides. I think we can all agree, folks. The first two matches were interesting, the second one more so than the first. But I believe the third match of the day, the human targets versus Team Espada that just happened, definitely took the cake entirely for me personally. It was a very entertaining game played by some very chill, very entertaining folks. And congratulations to Espada. They go forward to the next round of the tournament, which will, of course, be seen in a couple of days, of course. And all things considered, a great match, a great time had from both sides. Team Espada are your victors here for the third match here on Villa, 7-4 to them. A fantastic game and a fantastic attempt from the side of the human targets. There's really not much to say per se, because the emphasis on utility and all that wasn't really there. It wasn't the same as you would see in a normal game of Rainbow Six competitive, right? It was more a case of both sides just going out there, having some fun, just playing ball, as they say in what is it, football? I think they say that. Just having a ball. It was a fantastic time out there for them, for us to watch, and I'm sure our viewers at home also had a fun time. There was definitely some very, very bizarre, very intense moments in there that I loved absolutely, and both sides just did a fantastic job, a phenomenal job of giving us some great seats to watch, cast, and experience here at Lenovo plus AMD, the Rising in association with Vijay Sale. So before we close off, of course, is the highlights. But before we go to the highlights, Baba, your thoughts on this match?
Well, thoughts about on map Villa. I actually enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie. There were some, like I said, there were some, problematic plays coming in from, Shanko, especially on the side being on first row dining. But in the end, they did give their best, and going up against Team Espada, in which you've seen Team Espada compete in you know such they went up against such great teams, and even though they did lose, they have a lot of experience. They know how to coordinate well. And talking about the human target, they didn't had much coordination. They were just, they let loose, and they were just trying to play as best as they can. And how about we just, talk about it in the highlights itself, and explain what exactly am I talking about. So starting about the first round, though, from Team Espada, we've seen them win 5 rounds on attack, being on site second floor AVG, first floor dining in kitchen. Those were the only two sides that they did win, and also not to mention the second round where you did get to see the knife fights happen. Yeah, it was the Team Espada who did win it out. Again, we did get to see Foxtrot going in for that extra repeak. It didn't work out well because of they already had information as to what exactly is going to happen. And now, talking about the fourth round, it was just shotguns only for human targets. They did surprisingly won it out. They opened up so many lines of sight where Espada had no idea on what to do and what not to do. And here comes the part. I believe this was the
This is,
part,
yeah,
round
this was the
five.
one.
It was 2v3. It was about to go 1v3, and then Shaka was, he was all by himself. No, actually, yeah, this was the part where everyone just went, "What just happened?" Like seriously, what exactly
Hmm.
happened to that specific round? And when you think it was over, wait till you see this round. The immediate panic coming in from these two teams, it was just absolutely hilarious. And then we did get to witness, Ninja Freak's amazing plays with the MX4 Storm. The 1.5 does, proves wonders for it. And just like I said, Espada was in a really good role in the second half, winning second floor aviator and games, and suddenly we start to see human target starting to make some incredible plays. But in the end, we did get to see them. We did get to see Ninja. Actually, it wasn't Ninja Freak. I believe it was. I believe it was Akashi who won that round in the end, and Stoneheart, my God, the Pete and Ronin, and also that one tap, eliminating the Ash as well. It's a wonderful sight to see that, Jack.
Absolutely. It was a wonderful sight to see, and it was a wonderful match, just all in general. Everybody out there having fun, giving it what they have, while also maintaining an air of lightheartedness. You love to see it, really. And sure, the human targets, they could have mounted a comeback, and there was definitely a chance of that happening. It just wasn't to be, as we ended up seeing. Team Espada are your victors for the third match of the night, folks. They win 7-4 on Villa, and they will join the others, Chemical X and Red Vipers, in the next stage. Of course, along with the winners of the other matches off stream that we had in this first round, when round two will eventually come on stream. For all of our viewers at home to enjoy, you'll find us, myself, Blackjack, and my co host, Babagusta, there as well. And we will, of course, be back for more Lenovo plus AMD, the Rising, in association with Vijay Sales. Until then, stay tuned and good night.